Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hat pulled on blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I break, when I bang through the lane. 4D on my skin, when I lose, when I win, I'm alive in the light of the game I'm in. 4D, 4D, 4D. It's different.
Years worth of waiting is about to come to an end. The Speedway, it beckons once again. 33 are on the line, and it's time to go racing back home again in Indiana. Upon winning a very brutal 1992 Indy 500 by just the slimmest of margins, ABC Victory Lane reporter Jack Arute asked Al Unser Jr., "There sounds like there's some tears in your voice right now." Little Al pauses, with little hesitation says, "You just don't know what Indy means." In those 7 words, Little Al summed up what every other driver who's visited Victory Lane felt and what motivates every future driver aiming to be in the same place. To know what Indy means to win an Indy, nothing else. However, to get there, drivers will have to find out that Indy is accumulation of a perfect recipe. When expertly mixed, can bring you one step closer to immortality at the Brickyard. Indy is one half spectacle. In the real world, Indy is the largest single-day gathering to witness a sporting event. In the virtual world, 33 drivers, each in for over 50 splits tonight. More than that, we will have nothing less on their minds to finish and win the Indy 500. Indy is one half celebration. Much like our real-world heroes, Castroneves, Sato, Hunter Ray, Power, Rossi, Dixon, Erickson, Newgarden, and Al Pillow, we will all attempt the same thing for real. Winning Indy is a celebration of being the absolute best. Mixed in to Indy is a dash of speed. In the real world, only 33 fastest make the race. In the virtual world, it's no different. Some may be longtime IndyCar vets, while others are still looking to shed their IndyCar stripes. Indy's a large helping of danger. Here and in the real virtual worlds, few drivers never get as nervous as they are today for the start of the Indy 500. The experienced driver knows it's a marathon, not a sprint. That danger can be around the next corner. It takes all of your skill and courage to pilot your car from the start up to the front, and if and only if it's your day, on to victory lane. Indy is a spoonful of struggle. We share this with our real-world idols. Indy brings the extreme lows and agony of defeat to the extreme highs and the thrill of victory. Indy happens only once a year, so failure is devastating, while success is the ultimate adrenaline boost. Tonight, 33 drivers from all around the world representing multiple driving disciplines have accepted the challenge. 500 miles, 200 laps on a blistering hot track. Their focus to be the first first across a strip of paint and a yard of bricks. All will try, but only one will succeed. The waiting, the planning, the testing, all accumulates now. Now to this left is a spectacle, the celebration, the speed, the danger, and the struggle. And now you have a better idea of what Indy means. And now it is time for P1's presentation of the 9 p.m. top split running of the world's greatest virtual race. Welcome to Fixed Friday and the top split of the iRacing Fixed Indy 500. Hello again, everyone. From P1 Broadcasting, I am Gary Gazzo. It is race day in Indianapolis, and you're looking live at the world's greatest virtual race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as we're just moments away from letting loose 33 of the fastest sim racers in the world as they attempt to forever etch their name in the iRacing database as a winner of the Fixed Indy 500. I'd like to welcome all of you to our race day coverage of the 9 p.m. Eastern Time top split on this Friday, May 8th, 2026. And we are already underway. We're getting ready to grid up. Joining me, as always, for my broadcast is Luis Gonzalez-Nunes. Luis, welcome. And also joining us is David Kreutz from the FTN YouTube channel. Gentlemen, good to have you here. Real quick, opening thoughts. We got to get a starting lineup in.
For me, just long race, keep it calm. Robert Maleska, one of the guys to beat them today here in Indianapolis.
David?
Indianapolis is always anyone's race, I'll tell you that much. But we say that because this is the best accumulation of drivers on the platform, and so often we look at the best. We're so fortunate to have all these talented guys running alongside one another tonight, and it's going to be a long haul, Gary. I'll tell you this much. I say it's anyone's race, but we can't say that without getting into the names, so I figure before we dive deeper, let's get that starting grid.
Moletska and Van Den Essa on row one. Jaden Munoz, Jason Brophy, Brendan Lutzenberg, Alex Russell, Falkingham and Sora, Quilla and Taylor, Trost and Blocker back on row six. Then we got Clindy and Marquez, Clue and Law, FT and Ferraro back on row 9. We'll go through the next couple of rows here as we're getting ready to go racing for the top splits. Pace cars leaving the race course. Green flag is out as Robert Moletska wastes no time and slams the door on Van Den Essa on the outside. Here comes Jaden Munoz. You got to get the passing done early here, Lewis. You know we saw this race in the Elite Racing League. We're through 1 and 2, but you got to get your passing done early because we might be in store for a long single-file race tonight.
Exactly. So we saw in the Elite Racing Indy 500 with the Tyler 40 won the race, but we also saw last Tuesday night on the performance on the track, and especially with the weather we have so far for now, 96 Fahrenheit, really cold. But on the end, on the middle of the track, on the middle of the race, it's going to be really hot for all of these drivers.
Spread out in the back, single file all the way back through most of the top 20. Moletska leads the opening lap, just like, well, actually, Jaden Munoz now is the leader. I think Munoz knows that track position is going to mean everything today, and you've got to make it up while you can. Here comes Robert Moletska looking to get back to the point, a place that he's very comfortable with. He is a defending champion of the PRI Hoosier 500. Single file a little bit further on back. That is Chris Stouffer and Brandon Clue. Right in front of them, there's Indy Kirkenbauer. Robert Moletska, purple lap, 2:22.8 as we're setting the pace here early. Biggest movers of the race so far. Chris Stouffer up 4 spots. We're watching him. Ricky Pouts, car spinning off the backstretch. That is Alan Morera and Jake McCloskey in the Larson livery.
You know what? Alan Morera, lucky guy. It just clipped the apron, but he saved it for the wall. That's why he got contact with the other car.
Let's take a look and see what happened as we are now under caution. This was in the back of the pack. Jake McCloskey, we don't know very much about this driver. Maybe you do, Dave. I'm guessing that he's with the Larson livery. He's one of the NASCAR drivers. But let's see what happened. Maybe you know him and can speak for him. But there he is inside. Alan Moreira, one of the Brazilians, gets on the inside. Not a good exit off of 2 or into 2. And he just kind of chops Moreira just a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, Gary, looking back at that one, unfortunately, I don't know all too much about McCloskey here. At the back of the field, so we couldn't get a good read on his start. Yeah, I mean, looking back at that footage, that clip, as small as it was, the speeds were going, that can end a race. I mean, with the hybrid system we've got going on here, that's going to make a big impact the entire race long. We are fast from beginning to end of the run, with speeds even higher than they already were. A moment like that is going to put you in the wall or worse, and it looks like, in the case of McCloskey, he's lucky to be back on the circuit and even rolling right now, but he's going to be far from competitive, at least for the next coming laps.
Yeah, you'll have to come to pit road, and we'll see if anyone coming to pit road early to go off script. And here comes Clindy in the Pink Panther. He does a pump fake, but no. Well, Brandon Trost is the first to bite, Lewis. Surprise there.
I think, well, very early. We are 196 to go. I think every liter gallons. We're talking about gallons over here. Sorry. Every gallon you save it is costs you on the end, so that's a good thing for Brandon Trost. The only problem is about the track position you're talking about. Be on the back in 21 now, behind on Mason Mission is going to be really tough for him. But if we have another yellow flag in a couple laps, maybe he can come in and be on the front once again.
Brandon Trost, over 1,300 wins, most of which in INDYCAR on iRacing. We'll be watching him. He started from the pole in the Elite Racing League's Indy 500 back in April. Over on the Elite Racing Network, Lewis and I covered that race, finished third in that particular race. So this time a little bit further on back and now off script as we are under caution on our first caution of the day here at lap 5. Robert Malechka, currently your leader. Jaden Munoz is second. Chris Vandenessa in third. Jason Brophy fourth. Brendan Lichtenberg is now in fifth, the Hyperstar. Rest of the top 10, Alexander Russell, another one of the great wall of power slide drivers. Remember, he started on the front row at the PRI Hoosier 500 back in December. He is sixth. Daniel Falkingham, a driver you know very well, Dave, and also we know him very well from the Elite Racing League. He is their Rookie of the Year, their P1 INDYCAR Championship. He is seventh. Jose Soria, we've seen a number of times in these races. He is eighth. Tyquilla, a driver I know very well. He was the Rookie of the Year in the PRI Hoosier 500. He's currently in ninth, and Adam Blocker up 2 spots. That is your top 10. We go through the rest of the field. We got Matt Taylor, Clindy, in the Pink Panther, Amon Lal with Altena Auto Sport, Andrew Marquez rocking the I-5G entry, Christopher with 4D racewear, Brandon Clough, Indy Kirkenbauer, the Prodigy. He is the current former Indy NXT champion or Indy Next champion on the oval side of things. Then right behind him, Liam O'Sullivan, Triple Crown champion of the Velocity Online Racing INDYCAR Championship. Ricky Paz, he's a qualifier at the PRI Hoosier 500. We know he has pace. Speaking of pace, Chris Albrecht, pole sitter for the Elite Racing League's Indy 500 a season ago. He's 20th spot. Mason Mitchum loves these ovals, especially Indianapolis. He's a winner in the Vote of Indy Oval Series in 21st. All those guys stay out. Brendan Trost, Jose Fasaro, Hot Fuzz, Roden F-Tink, John Silva, Caleb Binsey, former champion of the Elite Racing League's Indy 500 in 2024A by 0.004 of a second. He pitted. He is in 26th. Hamilton Akabawizi, who won last time we were here for our top split broadcast. And also, he won in the Elite Racing League. He is currently 27th. The Cat, Dan Durazo, in 28th. Alan Moreira dodging a bullet early in 29th. Matthew Mitchum in 30th. I don't think he's related to Mason Mitchum. Then we got Daniel Hesche, one of our Brazilian drivers. Indy Lacey, and McCloskey's repaired. He's back in the 33rd spot, guys. We're getting ready to go racing again. Pace car is off. Robert Maleska has the field in tow. We're getting ready to go green here, coming to lap 7.
What a nice restart of Robert Maleska, and I see a little bit moving on Jason Profit on 4th place. I think it's very important all these guys understand that we still in lap 7, we have 200 laps. I think that I already told you many times, Gary, we are business always when it's 25 to go. So for now, it's just take it easy, be on the front for sure. Everyone wants to lead in one lap. Like now it's Jaden Munoz once again on the front, and Robert Maleska. They don't want to lose the first position, for the simple is about the tire degradation, and also you want to lead the race for sure, entire race. That's Robert taking the lead once again.
Maleska back to the point. Munoz back to second. Van Den Nessa just hanging out in third. Brophy hanging out in fourth. He's racketing his teammate right now, who is currently the leader. So Power Slide cars in first and fifth and sixth and 10th right now on the race course. The I5G entry is currently being led by Brendan Lichtenberg in P5. We have I5G entries currently in fifth, 12th and 14th on the racetrack right now. Here comes Jaden Munoz one more time to the inside and one. Ty Quikila taking a move on the inside and Falkingham, but Falkingham using that high line, keeps momentum and slams the door and keeps the position.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, it was close. Quikila hit the wall in turn 2. Pretty impressive once again. We're talking about that in the lead race in Indy 500 when Daniel said that I still learning, and it's really funny because it's really funny to hear said that one of the former
Glindy smacked the wall, a little bit of a tank slam. Well, maybe a light kiss there. It's going to cost him a little momentum. Law's taking a peek. Robert Maleska 2:23.4 purple lap that time by. Glindy seems to be okay.
You don't want that kiss, man.
That's a kiss you do not want.
No.
The only kiss you want is a kiss from the Indy 500 queen, the parade queen, at the end of the race in Victory Lane. Currently watching Chris Albrecht with Track Rocket Racing. Sat on the pole a season ago for the Elite Racing League Indy 500. Had a great race, unfortunately, just not a good finish to echo that. Right behind him, Mason Mitchum, winner here in the Vote of Indy Oval Series. It was a Stewart awarded win. He very much wants to get a win on his own outright in merits. Glindy and Taylor. Glindy around Taylor off of 2. Move up. Glindy one more spot, up 2 spots for the guy who won 2 top split races last season and finished all 800 laps and all 4 splits time slots of last year's fixed Indy 500. Brendan Trost on the outside of Ricky Paz. That's a power move, Lewis.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's, man, this guy is going to be, at some point, it's going to be...
Oh, 3 wide, way ahead of him. That's an odd way through the corner. Matt Taylor, Andrew Marquez teammates want to give each other a lot of room there, but here comes Chris Stouffer. He is a veteran with a ton of starts in these cars. But conversely to him, Indy Kirkenbauer, the prodigy, 3 wide through the corner. Stouffer in the middle. Liam O'Sullivan down low. Whoa! You know, guys, there's still 85 laps to go, guys. We'll ride with Brandon Clough. Big lift, big lift. Again, that must tell you the dirty air and the handling problems we're having out here. We have heard, and this is from our Tuesday Top Split broadcast that we had for our Indy Oval Series Top Split broadcast Tuesday nights. We really heard that the weight jacker, Lewis, is virtually useless in this race with this car and in this setup.
Yeah, I've seen Mattel, the kids on the wall in 4. Yeah, Robert won the top split last Tuesday night, every Tuesday night for sure. We are broadcasting in P1 the Indy Fixed Series, top split. And he won the race, and he said it's really useless. It's just, no matter what you can say, you can play with the weight jacket. We have at some point 120 Fahrenheit on the track with 50 laps. Then we went down to 115. But it have a battle between Robert and Adam Blocker. Profini was over there. Trossi was over there. Trossi in the end have a damage in that time. And it was really different when we used to have it 1 season ago or 2 seasons ago. Even 1 year ago, actually. And now it's kind of different. But I think it's the way we have to play now, or actually driving now. All this driving over here in Indianapolis. Good to have it, this kind of practice for the next race on tomorrow.
And some of these drivers will compete in all 4 time slots this weekend for the fixed Indy 500. This is the top qualifier split. So these are all drivers that got into this race based upon speed, not iRating. But they are given numbers, their car number, based upon their iRating. And the number 1 car is this guy right here, Daniel Falkingham, former Coca-Cola NASCAR driver. David, you know him pretty well. You've done some races with him. You've called some of his races on the stock car side. We've called some of his races on the IndyCar and the Indy NXT or Indy Next side of things. Talk about Daniel Falkingham.
Yeah, Dan's a driver who for the last 5 or 6 years has really been everywhere when it comes to the top level of any sort of virtual racing. And that's the interesting thing. The first time I was made aware of him was through the INDYCAR circuit in the Coke Series in 2020, 21, 22. He's also run alongside the College Series. We have multiple top drivers who qualified for top 60 in terms of speed in the College Series here for the fixed race. In particular, I believe if Matthews waxed 9 in this split, he would be in the next one. He's also one of the drivers who's in free agency for the iRacing Coke Series. Falkingham has victories at the college iRacing level. He's been alongside the pros. He's done the Road to Pro ladder a few times, and he's even broadcasted a few Road to Pro races as well. He's one of those drivers that always finds a way to adapt. He found himself almost out and out in Road to Pro a few seasons back. It was 2023 to 24, qualifying his way back into the Coke Series and went from the bottom of that play-up lip all the way to the top 10 in the Road to Pro points, made it back to the playoffs. He knows what it's like to deal with adversity. Now, he's saying he's still learning the car. I wouldn't be too surprised. He started 7th. He's still 7th, which isn't a bad showing right now, but it's clear that I don't think his intention is to be as aggressive as possible for the time being. Instead, bide your time and get some practice laps. The first half of this race and the first 170-some laps are run completely different than the last 25, Gary. You've mentioned that. I mean, we've mentioned it many a time on P1 Broadcasting, and it's a rule of thumb at this type of circuit, especially with the stakes of this event. Get to the end, and then focus on winning. So for Falkingham right now, I think he's doing what he does best, biding his time, mapping out the road to success, and he's going to wait it out. He's got a great iRating here, of course. That doesn't mean everything at the IndyCar level for a reason, but he's got himself steady, and I think that's going to take him up the ladder. And notably also, Alexander Russell has some seat time in stock cars as well, although I think he's more known now for his open wheel work. 6th, 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 6th. That's currently started his high and low. And it looks like right now the top 10 is basically all the blue bloods. Adam Blocker is the only driver who's gone from outside the top 10 to in it from 12th to 10th.
Yeah, that kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier. Lewis, you could talk about this from the other races we've seen, even going back to the Elite Racing League and their Indy 500 a couple of weeks ago. it is tough to pass, and we're already seeing, once again, the field stretch out, single file, not a lot of contact between cars. If it does, most of the time it's because a driver in front it has some sort of issue, loses a little momentum, the driver behind catches and makes an attempt at the pass. But we're seeing a lot of what we saw on Tuesday night. We're seeing a lot of what we saw about a month ago in the Elite Racing League. Single file. Right now, this tire model and this setup just it's not really sinking in for a very competitive looking race right now, at least for these drivers.
Yeah, I think that the only one that they swap each other is between Munoz and Valesca on the front. But you're right. I think there's a big difference between these two guys. Chris Vanden is 1.5 behind, and then Brovin is very close to 5/10. And then it come in everyone in between 5 to 6/10 different.
Yeah.
We see pass we see some good pass in the fixed series Tuesday night when we talking about to everyone the good passes for outside. We used to. I remember in my time we used to make the pass for inside because it's very close to the wall. But they don't have a time model at that time. So it's really, really impressed the way he's playing all these Indy cars now. And yeah, talking about, for example, Daniel Buckingham in the lead, it was really back on the field, learning about the car. I talked about him when he won the Freedom 100 in the Elite Racing, the INDYCAR Series, the Elite Racing League. He said, I just want to learn about the car, and he's still learning, but it's going to be a really tough race for me, especially for the championship. On the end, he lost the championship in the last race in the Worldwide Technology Raceway against the Indy 500 champion, Tyler 40. But he's doing a pretty good job, and in the end, he showed us he learned really fast with 5 to go when he made the pass over the Brandon Trost in the last 5 to go.
Just saw Roden F-Tink about a lap or so ago give a little kiss to the turn 4 exit wall, and that's now opened up. This is a battle for 26th and 27th. John Silva, who I believe is one of our Brazilian drivers. Silva is, I've noticed a number of these drivers, Lewis, have gone to the high line. Specifically, we're seeing Silva going to the high line. We saw Liam O'Sullivan now using the high line. Andy Kirkenbauer was using the high line. Brendan Trost was using the high line. I think some drivers have adjusted. Oh, there's a right in front of who was that? Was that
Andy, was not Taylor on the
Taylor?
Wall.
Yeah, got so right up to the wall. But we see some drivers adjusting their lines, going to the high line now. I think that's what they see in opening to keep that momentum built up by not going down to that bottom groove.
I think you mentioned you mentioned in the restart when we talking about even David mentioned about the car. It's going more faster than before. It's like 5 to 6 miles faster than before, especially now in the draft when it's way more faster, and it's a really makes sense. To these drivers use the high line, don't use the same line. For example, Sullivan is behind on Andy. He don't want to use the same line to don't go to the wall and the exit on turn 1. And then here in turn 2, still use the same line on the high line just to survive, save the car. I think all these drivers still feel that 26, we have a 26 laps and all tires with all these drivers. They start to feel it, the degradation, even the temperature is still cold, 101 Fahrenheit on the track. You start to feel like I think I prefer to survive, save the car than go aggressive on the end. I know the first 10 laps they can go aggressive whatever they want because it's a new tires. But in the end, it's like, you know what, just keep in mind and learning about the track once again.
Green flag pit stops incoming. We're getting near lap 30. That is about what these cars can do, about 30 laps, give or take. Some could do more. If you're in the open air up front, like Robert Malechka and Jaden Munoz in first and second, who have actually been reeled in a little bit by Vanden Esse. Vanden Esse was behind, and he lost the draft envelope and has regained it back. Vanden Esse now is about a second away from Malechka and Munoz. But we are about 2 to 5 laps away from a lot of these drivers making their first green flag pit stop.
Yes, it is. We're already close. Actually, I think one of them, well, Fernando Trost already came before, so he have 23 laps in the stint. So maybe gonna come in the next 5 laps for him. But normally it's 30 laps. You want to make the number, the magic number. You don't want to come into the pit with 10 to go, 15 to go. I think 50 to go is really lost in time. I think the number you want to clinch in the last stint is 25 to go. 28 maybe is a good number also too. No more than that. But I think also it's about saving fuel, saving your tires, and it's really difficult, to be honest. Indianapolis is really difficult driving, especially when it's a long straight.
Van den Nessa has reeled that group in. He was about a second and a half behind. Now he's a second behind as we watch him get into the draft of Jaden Munoz and pull himself forward. And now he has about a second lead over Jason Brophy. Brophy's still in that draft envelope, and he'll try to pull himself closer into the battle now. But right now, these drivers need to begin thinking about first round of pit stops, and that is one of the major changes to this car with the hybrid. The center of gravity of this car has changed. The way it brakes has changed, and coming from 200 miles per hour down to 60 down the pit road is a little bit of a different exercise. Now, some of these drivers have been able to in some real live fire exercises, whether it's the PRI Hoosier 500, whether it's the Elite Racing League's Indy 500, or maybe some of the various INDYCAR Oval Series Indianapolis races we've done they've been able to practice this. But a lot of these drivers, unless they've been practicing it, and you really got to go out there and say, I'm going to practice green flag pit stops, because a lot of drivers don't do that. This might be their first green flag pit stop that we get to see coming up, as Malecka now starts to put a little bit of breathing room between himself and Munoz through 2 and 3.
And there's a reason for that. Munoz is calling in this time after a 31-lap stint. One of the first and most important calls, and it looks like the top 2 go in at once. So, Gary, this is what you mentioned, going 30 with a little bit of a slide there from Munoz.
Well, he's getting rid of those tires anyways. We have unlimited tires here in the Indy 500, so you don't worry about the bills. Smoke them if you got them. And he is pulling alongside Robert. So he's making up a little bit of ground on pit road on the rev limiter. Look at Robert's spacing on pit road. He is closer to that white line. He's going to get out of the box sooner than Jaden. Jaden's a lot farther away. And then Robert down and away, and here is the green line there. The green cones, that's their off the limiter, and they're back under full power. Now, we watch this line right here, the inside line. They cannot cross that, although they get a penalty.
Not anymore.
Yes.
We used to use that for exit very fast on the turn 2, but not anymore.
Chris Van den Nessa on pit road, the Flying Dutchman. In history of other Flying Dutchmen who've appeared at the Brickyard, Ari Leindijk, Venus VK. He is hitting pit road for his scheduled stop and service. Down and away for Van den Nessa.
.4 Robert Malecka on the box. 10 seconds. Jaden Munoz. Man, Jaden Munoz kissing the wall. Just a little bit.
We're watching Brophy. That is the Hyperstar, Brendan Lichtenberg. And then right behind them, that is the 14 of Jose Soares. So Jose and he's actually in a black car, so he's repping AJ Foyt, whether he likes it or not. The oldest living Indy 500 winner. And I think he's the oldest all-time living Indy 500 winner, meaning that he's got up to the oldest age ever. So Super Tex. Here comes Alexander Russell to pit road. Fight with him, Daniel Falkenham. Ty Killa coming to pit road. Here comes Clindy coming to pit road. Whoa, Adam Blocker staying out and going long, boys. So Adam Blocker, the engineer for the Chip Ganassi Indy Next team, He is using a little bit of that knowledge and what's in his right foot and also on engine mapping to conserve, and he's going long. He's 35 laps into this stint. Indy Kirkenbauer going long, too. Indy, the prodigy, showed a lot of patience there. Christopher going long. Brendan Trost, he's going to pick up the lead here. Jade Munoz, Chris Van Annessa, 2:24.1. Jade Munoz did have the purple lap for about a split second.
Locker to the pits.
Blocker. Indy Kirkenbauer. Yes, his name is Indy, like Indiana Jones's dog. Indy, I-N-D-Y, like the racetrack. We call him the prodigy because he's young, he's fast, he's talented. Well, that's a prodigy for you. Also on pit road, we got Stouffer and Chris Albrecht. Trost picks up the lead. Remember, Trost pitted early at lap 4 under our first caution. Chris Van Annessa, a purple lap again, 2:24.6.
Wow.
Mason Mitchum also came to pit road. Actually, Mason Mitchum did not come to pit road. He is the longest lasting driver out there, and now he comes down into pit road. Hot lap. Bringing with him is Caleb Bency. Caleb, locks it up. Caleb Bency, the Ohio driver with Stowe Motorsports, won this race over Robert Malechka in the Elite Racing League Indy 500 in the 2024 A season by 4 thousandths of a second. If you're not sure how 4 thousandths of a second is, it's this number right here, 0.004. That's the margin of victory. Alexander Russell, purple lap, by the way.
That's how is it like a nose, like
maybe an end plate. Oh, we're gonna go racing off the corner on pit road on the access road, kind of like we saw your racing hero and Ari Leindyke get into it in '96.
Yeah,
Eliseo Salazar is Lewis's racing hero, so.
Eliseo Salazar, yeah, they can, maybe people know and iRacing YouTube, maybe they remember Eliseo Salazar by fighting with Nelson Piquet in Hockenheim when they tried to allow to pass him, but then they have a fight. Nelson Piquet give it to like a kick and push, and after that he came out on USA to racing in the IRL. So yeah, that is Eliseo.
Oh, Daniel Hesse slides in there.
It is so funny. I'm still talking about the Hamilton and Salazar blocking on the Indy 500. Salazar was last, and Hamilton I think it was in the first place, and Salazar just waving around, and he almost cracking in the wall in the main straight. In the 95, I think so it was, or 95 or
96. He made a move. Here comes John Silva, the pit road, along with Matthew Mitchum. This will turn everything back over to Robert Malechka. So those that stopped at lap 4, it was a very short stint for them, but they have made their stops now. So first round of pit stops, green flag pit stops, completely done. Yeah, Eliseo Salazar on a restart took us, was it Davey Hamilton? Is that what you said? Davey Hamilton all the way down to the pit road wall. And that caused and that's still back when a lot of guys worked on the wall with signs, and they went diving for cover.
And who was it? He said, "What is he doing, this guy? This boy?" He said, "What is he doing, this boy?" I don't remember. Anyways, pretty funny, actually.
Well, this is a good time to segue to our Indy 500 facts. Here is slide 1 of our IndyCar history lesson of the day. Here's all the track records you need to know. The unofficial track record still held by Ari Leindyke, set in Fast Friday of '96. The official track record still set in '96 by Ari Leindyke. The 1 and 4 lap records are still held by him. The pole record was recently reset in 2024 by Scott McLaughlin. The race official lap is 2:36.1 by Eddie Cheever in 1996. I don't think we're going to see anyone beat that one anytime soon either. And then our race record, Elio Castroneves, when he got win number 4 in 2021, the race average of 190.6 in a race that I think only featured 3 cautions. Those are your race and lap and single lap records and pole records for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, of course, a lot of those records are really weird because there was completely different qualifying rules back when Ari turned those in 90 and 96 there. So you got to go back and watch that and understand the old USAC qualifying rules. But right now it is Malechka Munoz here at lap 42. We're just past the 100-mile mark. I'm going to turn it over to Dave. Dave, what are you seeing out there? What have you liked so far? What have you, any story points that you noticed? We got through the first opening laps. We had that early caution, and everyone is kind of now treating it like the marathon it's supposed to be.
One of the things we focused on, but I don't think we've given it its definition for maybe the viewers who aren't as tuned in to the IndyCar scene or the virtual IndyCar scene, is why the racing looks like it does. Gary, we've been covering on P1 the Indy 500 fixed and opens for a few years now. I remember when we got the opportunity to do it again for the first time in 2024, the racing did not look like this the whole way through.
No.
And while, yes, it's a marathon, I mean, it looked a little different in that open and green flag stint. The reason being, this time around is the first time on iRacing with the new INDYCAR hybrid package, which goes alongside the traditional V6 these guys have been using with the IR18 chassis. We've been using it for the better part of a decade now, but it includes this energy recovery system, which allows these drivers to pick up more power than ever before. Think of it, I mean, energy recovery system, it's almost like KERS in Formula One some 15 years ago.
Exactly.
So with that being the case, these drivers are pulling out more power, but by all accounts, besides the power, it's basically the same virtual platform than what we've seen in years prior, which means that for these drivers, they're dealing with a lot more power without the tools to use it. I know LGN was talking earlier about the weight jacker and not having the ability to really fine-tune your cornering just because of how much we're dealing with here. So for the viewers, it translates to this. More power, less fine-tuned control, which means that not only is it less of an incentive to drive aggressive early, it also means it's just more difficult to do it. Less racing room, less dirty air when you're running single file, which means that a lot of this field is going to be spaced out for a lot of the time. Top 10 is separate now by 12 seconds based on this principle, so that's a quick rundown of what makes this look different. Now, iRacing and IndyCar have gone back. I mean, we have multiple chassis going to the IR05, all of them in the modern Indy Racing League or NTT IndyCar era, of course, but this is the first time with this new mixed package. So for drivers and the platform alike, it's a big change, and it impacts the racing you're seeing big time.
Let's talk about the hybrid because a lot of people, this is the first 500 weekend, either open or fixed, that they have had use of the hybrid. We got the hybrid right in December. In fact, one of the very first races was the PRI Hoosier 500 with the hybrid. A lot of drivers had to learn that. It adds extra weight to the back of the car because we are simulating batteries and an engine back there now, or a recovery unit or an engine unit that gives these guys a momentary burst. And really, it is a momentary. It's only about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds worth of power. And what they have to do is once they use it up, they have to regen it. So they can do it one of 2 ways, regenning. Regenning, hit on a button, and it'll just say, hey, regen my system, but at the reduction, you got some drag. It's going to reduce your speed. So the best to do it in the draft, like you see Clindy and Blocker working on right now. So doing a little bit of leapfrogging, trying to reel in the group in front of them by about 1.8 seconds now as they try to reel in Soria. But the other way you could do it is when you come to pit road, when you're braking, that you can use that kinetic energy to regen your hybrid battery, but you're only braking about 5 times during this particular race if you're coming into for green flag pit stops. So that's what we have. There is a version of push to pass that these guys now have on ovals via the hybrid, but the hybrid has really changed the way these cars really feel and behave with the center of gravity and so much weight in the back being moved. moved, these guys are kind of learning to redrive these cars a little bit. And the hybrid unit in these cars is a little bit of a square peg in a round hole. The next car in 2028, which we might see debuted here during Indy 500 weekend, will probably be a more cleaner fit. But this hybrid is leaving these drivers some guessing out there. And it definitely leaves them a lot of busy in the cockpit. One of the things that we heard, Lewis, and we could talk about this too, because we kind of saw this across some of the other leagues we've done, especially those leagues that have stock car drivers. We're seeing there was a lot of stock car drivers coming over and trying IndyCar because they didn't like the sixth generation stock car. But now they got into the IndyCar, and then they realized that it's a lot more button pushing, because on ovals you have to regen and deploy your hybrid almost every lap on top of changing gears. And for a lot of people, that's a lot of busy hands.
Yeah, I remember when the iRacing at some point in the pandemic, they released the weight jacket, the anti-roll bar. We're really busy with that.
Yeah.
And then we coming with this regen hybrid stuff and things. So thinking about it, if you have, for example, I have the Fanatec Formula 2.5, I think so, wheel. I can put all this button over there. But some people already started in this war.
Yeah.
And they decide to go to G29. I think it's you need to more buttons to put on your wheel, because you have so many stuff in the IndyCar. It's not easy. It's like used to be in 2020, 19, and then with the W12, and then with the IR05. Now it's way more different, and I think the people racing the INSA sport car, the INSA sport car, they already knew about that. Remember the Le Mans, the Le Mans cars. They used all this stuff. It's really difficult, and now, I see Adam Blockett almost hit the wall over there in turn 4. But it's really difficult, and it's about here racing by 40 seconds a lap. Thinking about these 40 seconds a lap, can get everything the stuff. Or thinking about it when we go to Chicagoland, or we go to, for example,
Iowa or Richmond at 15
Richmond,
seconds a lap.
Exactly. Thinking about Richmond, it just mixes your stuff in about 15 seconds, 14 seconds. Even in Iowa, it's really difficult. And I think if you're gonna come into racing IndyCar, you have to first of all prepare for all these buttons they have over here, and then just make a practice before that. Even we saw in the main race last season, I think last year I think was December, when we went to the iRacing Super Speedway. People came over here without know the race, and just without regen, the car went super slow, but like a 50 miles slow than the other one.
And see everybody in chat. Matt Wagner in there. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Good to have you here. We're watching your teammate right now. Is getting passed by Caleb Binsey on the backstretch going into 3 and 4. See if Albrecht can lick it hang on the outside. No, Binsey slams the door. Move Caleb Binsey now up 6 spots in the P20. Chris Albrecht up 4. Lewis, the other thing we've seen before in other races, and I think, David, you saw this before when you've helped us cover some fixed and open Indy 500s before. There always at this point in the race seems to be a driver that has come from deep in the field that has worked his way up into the mid-pack. We're not seeing it today. Your biggest gainer right now on the racetrack, and I can show you this because this is one of the new stats that we got. Look, these are position gained right here. And Clindy up 3 spots. He's your biggest gainer in the top 10. But outside the top 10, you got Amon Lal up 4. You got Liam O'Sullivan up 6. You got Indy Kirkenbauer up 6. You got Caleb Binsey up 6. You got Ricky Paz, to no one's surprise. This man always starts in the back of the field and manages to work his way up. He's up 8. Mason Mitchum up 6. But normally we see double digits by some drivers right now, and we're just not seeing that. Again, the racing with this package seems to be a little bit... It's lost its luster than what we've used to been seeing, Lewis. And David, you could back up Lewis after he gives his thoughts, but it's just not the same package, or at least the same quality that we're used to.
Oh, yeah. we remember, for example, names like Seb Alexander. We like it to come in, but back on the field, and then some points like, oops, I am in the middle of the track with the 10 to 15 spot gaining. For example, we've seen Hamilton Akawesi. He's now in 25. He's there with two spots behind. Remember, 2 seasons ago in the lead racing, he started in 28, I think so. And he won the race.
Yeah, caution-free.
Because we have a caution-free. One of the fastest Indy 500 in the lead. So, and now it's in 25, and we are 57 laps in the track, and it's still over there. It's still, I think, haven't tried to moving around the track. So, I think that we've seen the new IndyCar races in this track getting way more difficult, more patient, and just keep in mind it's a long race.
Yeah, very long. Dave, what are you seeing also as well? I mean, you've seen us do these races before. I know you don't cover as much IndyCar as we do, but normally there is somebody that works their way up into the mid-pack now that makes up more than 10 positions that we kind of see and we start tracking at this point in the race, because we might think that they're going to be someone that's going to be a challenger at the end, and we just don't see that right now. It makes me wonder if somebody might gamble later in this race because, well, the only gamble you don't win are the ones you don't take, and right now that might be the only way to make up some track position here.
I mean, I look down the timing pylon, and I find myself in the same position as both of you. I can't really pin anyone who I would say looks like they have the stuff to shock us. Chris Van Den Ness is within a second. I mean, within 1.3 seconds, but that's not too much of a surprise. That's about the gap that he had to the leaders in the first stint. It's really different. It's surprising to say, and I guess it's a surprise of no surprises. What's Indy without a surprise? I guess we're figuring that out right now. What I wonder, though, is if you look back, some of these drivers, veterans who have been on the platform for more than a decade, maybe more than 15 years, in their experience, or if I were to call on you, Gary, or Luigi, either of you, when you look back over iRacing or any of the modern sim racing platforms, have we seen moments like this due to regulation changes? I mean, again, iRacing's had different packages. You had the 2005 chassis, you had the 2012 chassis, and all the modifications that came with. And we've been on the IR18 package for a while now, but the racing, especially at the ovals, has been very consistently close and contentious, but it also has allowed drivers to really feel their way through corners and have control of themselves. It looks like today a little bit less of all of that at once, and I don't know if there's any precedent on that or if it's something that's quite a surprise for these drivers in terms of anything they've ever done. It looks to be a surprise for a lot of these guys right now, but where does it line up compared to everything else we've seen? Are we starting to see pit road?
Yes,
we are. Second cycle begins, and it looks like your top two just dropped.
Top three came to pit road all together, so they're going to be on the same strategy. We're watching Munoz hit his marks, go up on the pneumatic jacks, single impact lugs on those Firestone Firehawk tires, racing Shell Racing Fuel down and away, and he is going to beat out Robert Maleczka.
Yeah, you're right. 9.5 Robert Maleczka did, and I don't see the other one. No, 1.5. Oh, Jaden Munoz 9.4. So it was like a 0.1, so 1/10 faster than Robert. But Jaden Munoz have the draft of Jake and 20 and 32 over there to escape a little bit from him and take the lead on the race virtually, actually.
Yeah, right now the leaders are in lap traffic. That is Jake McCloskey in front. And There have been a long line of McCloskeys that have raced at Indianapolis. I don't know if he's related to any of them, but Jaden is right behind Jake. Jake with that opening caution with Alan Morera. Jake just holding his line, and here comes Munoz on the outside, but he's not going to have the aid of the draft because McCloskey's going to have the aid of the draft, but I think McCloskey cracks the throttle a little bit, allows Munoz on by, and now he's the meat and the sandwich between first and second as the next driver in front of Munoz is going to be Indy Casey. Daniel Falkingham on pit road. He's coming off now. Christopher around Indy Kirkenbauer. So now we got different. We have like an A strategy and a strategy 1 and 1A. Let's put it that way. The 1A strategy are those guys that all pitted on lap 4. They're slightly able to go about 5 laps longer than everyone else. So they could certainly catch a caution that would benefit them. We see Roden Eftink coming up the speed on the apron there. Adam Blocker has caught Ty Keela. We got Ty there. Clindy has now worked the Pink Panther up to third. Jose Soria coming to pit road in second. Alexander Russell going long. He is staying out right now. Hey, if you enjoy P1's coverage, the official fixed Indy 500, make sure to support us by smashing the like button or subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. And if you are watching on the iRacing channel, if you would do us a kind solid and subscribe to P1, just shoot that QR code right there in the middle of your screen, and you can subscribe to our channel. We certainly would appreciate it. Pit road, action on pit road right now. Indy Kirkenbauer coming to pit road. And also Alexander Russell coming to pit road. Indy not on pit road, sorry. 21 also on pit road. That is Daniel Hesje, one of the Brazilian drivers. Ty Quilla, the PRI Hoosier 500 Rookie of the Year, finished 4th in that race. Now picks up the lead, and Adam Blocker is currently in second. Christopher a distant third there as he works his way midway down. Indy Kirkenbauer has not pitted. He is now 4th. He's in front. The prodigy in front. Oh, wow. Right behind it, Caleb Benzie. A little bit of a fade to the inside road, and Efting sends it anyways. I think Caleb might be coming to pit road, and that's kind of why he wanted to stay in front. Yeah, exactly. Caleb Benzie coming to pit road and wanted to stay in front. Ty Keela coming on pit road right now. Scheduled stop. So Blocker going long again.
We have the first black flag on Alan Moreira.
Oh.
He crossed the line on the exit on the pit road. He just put 2 wheels in the white line. And they give you a black flag for unsafe pit exit, sorry.
So he's going to have at least a drive-through, if not a 40-second hold that he needs to answer in the next 5 laps, or he will be DQ'd. So we'll see the Brazilian come around at turn 4 here, and he's going to stay out for another lap. Christopher on pit road, and the 4D Racewear sponsored car. Adam Blocker on pit road, making addressing his crew. Staying out is Brendan Truss. Remember, he is among those drivers that stopped on lap 4 on that first and only caution we had. Right behind him is Ricky Paz from Mexico. Ricky Paz started on the back row of the Elite Racing League's Indy 500. Got a top 10 out of it. Brendan Truss started on the pole. Got a podium out of it. Mason Mitchum now in the 3rd position. Kirkenbauer coming to pit road. Mason Mitchum coming to pit road. Hot Fuzz coming to pit road. Jose Fazaro. When we see Brendan Truss make the turn down pit road, he is now 30 laps on his current stint, so we expect to see him in pit road anytime. He went 34 last time. Durazo coming off of pit road, the Cat, and Mason Mitchum coming off of pit road. So they have completed their second stops. Hamilton Akabuwizi coming to pit road. Remember, we just talked about it. Hamilton started 28th in the Elite Racing League Indy 500 and won it. This was in 2025A in their first. So that's the farthest back actually anyone has ever won the real Indy 500, 28th. Only 2 drivers have won from 28th in the real Indy 500. Ray Haroon won from 28th starting position. However, he wasn't starting from row effectively 10. The first Indy 500, I believe they were starting in rows of 5. So he was kind of starting in the mid-pack-ish for Ray Haroon, but he started from 28th and won that race, of course, in the Mormon Wasp, and that's the innovation of the rear view mirror that a lot of you have in your cars. If you ever wondered where that was invented, it was right here in Indianapolis by your first ever Indy 500 winner. And also Louis Meyer, most famously during that race in 1936. Hard to believe it's been 90 years, but that's where the drink of milk was originated. When he won from 28th, he was so parched, he wanted a cold drink, and one of the only cold drinks you could have at the time was milk. And went for one of his favorite drinks, which was buttermilk, and that's what he indulged in Victory Lane, and that started the milk tradition at Indianapolis. That stands to this day. Never, Lewis, never drink orange juice.
Asking to Emerson Fittipaldi what has happened after he decided to don't drink the milk. So yeah, it's the only one so far break the tradition of the milk, I think. Maybe
yes.
you can tell me that.
Yes, he's the only driver.
What happened after that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. So the next year, he won in '93 for his second Indy 500 win. He actually had a decent IndyCar career throughout the next year. They came the next year. Remember, Penske came the next year in '94 with the Beast, that purpose-built Mercedes engine. He was 15 laps away from winning the Indy 500 and getting ready to put his teammate, Allister Jr., a lap down when he lost the rear end of his car coming out of turn 4 and smacked the wall, ended his Indy 500 race, and that was his last lap ever. He turned at the Brickyard right there. He ended up not qualifying in '95, and then got in the split happened in '96. He got in a very bad accident at Michigan in '96 and ended up retiring. And from Indy 500 champion in '93 to being retired in '96. Could it be drinking the orange juice? Coincidence? I don't know. You tell me.
I wanna think about it. Yes, you know, if you wanna broken something, I really suspect. So I really like this. I think if, for example, you want the soccer players, they're always jumping in the left. I think of the left leg and jumping 2 times before to put the right left before to put the left one. So it's like suspicious about the stuff. I don't know.
Superstition, yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of superstition, I mean, look at the cars in 3rd and 4th place on the racetrack. Green cars. Green cars are extraordinarily superstitious. The only approved racing green that you could drive in by the racing gods is British racing green. Any other green, typically you got bad luck. But right now, Jason Brophy, who's been rocking that green car for a very long time, he's in 3rd, and Chris Van Den Esse is in 4th. So we'll see if the green brings them luck later in this race. It has been a while since a green car has done well at the 500.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to say that, talking about the Ariel Ladendek lap record every year, it's getting tired to him. I read the interview here. I watched an interview to him. He said like somebody needs to break this this lap record, because every year he's asking me for the same thing. Please, somebody break it. Well, every time they ask me, somebody's gonna break it. No, I thinking about it. I really get tired. I really get old. and it's a really long time ago about this, and nobody break it. Nobody want to release me all of these questions about years and years and years.
So I don't think with this current car we're going to break that record. Now the next car is going to have a 2.6 liter V6 versus a 2.4, so it's a slightly bigger displacement. Bigger displacement doesn't mean faster, but we will see what IndyCar will allow. I mean, if IndyCar wanted to give them unlimited boost and just say rock and roll and knock yourselves out, go right ahead, they might be able to, but I don't. They've still yet to turn an official lap at 240 mile per hour here, unlike they did at Fontana. Rest in peace on Fontana. Two cars, Mauricio Gugelmin and Gilles de Ferran, have turned 240 mile per hour official laps at Auto Club Speedway. But I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon here at the Speedway. But I remember as a kid, when breaking 210 and then 220 and then 230, and you're like, wow, the sky's the limit at that point. And then, wow, it's like at 2000, technology and speed stopped. It's like they didn't go any faster after that. And when I say 2000, I'm actually talking about the kart car when Gilles de Ferran went 241 at Michigan. Ricky Paz is blinking out. Hopefully he continues to hold on to that connection. But he's doing it in front of Mason Mitchum, which was one of his teammates.
I figured out Chris Albrecht is out of the race.
Oh,
he just pull over and gone. Yeah, he decided to pull over and he decided to stay on the pit road.
Well, that's one of the pole sitters, former pole sitters for the Elite Racing League Indy 500. He is retired in 33rd. Only car so far to retire. 32 are still out there running at 200 miles plus per hour. Daniel Hesse is the last car on the lead lap at 28th. As we've been on an extraordinarily long green flag run. Almost an 80-lap green flag run, and we're 19 laps into this third stint for a lot of these drivers. So we're going to see another round of pit stops, Dave, in about 10 laps from now. It seems like we just stopped not too long ago, but even when we're not turning as fast lap times as we want, we're still out there turning 220 plus. They clip off at a rather fast pace.
Yeah, so I was trying to run the numbers, and I'm a little bit confused on what I'm getting at. I mean, what we've seen so far is pretty simple. 30, maybe you can push it up to 33, 34 laps a stint, and some drivers went in at lap 4 to begin this race. So under the assumption every stop cycle is about 30 laps, you're going in at lap 30 or so, 60 or so, 90 or so, 120 or so, 150 or so, and then 180 or so. I put it out there one by one just to explain that it's every 30 laps, give or take. But in the way that we're running this race, which has been primarily green flag racing, that leaves about 15 to 20 green flag laps unaccounted for. So I'm already starting to wonder, if we're looking at all these drivers right now, what would they do with those final few stops? Are they going to try to make one of these a short stint earlier on so they can get back on the track up the pace a little bit quicker? Or are they going to try to stretch it out to the max and have the short burst of speed, a fresher tire? We've already gotten ourselves nearly halfway home on, by all accounts, basically one green flag run, which is a remarkable feat of the speed we're going and with how long these drivers have been at it, not only because they're making these turns at speed and they're keeping the cars in it, but they're keeping themselves focused in it. There's a few extra laps that are unaccounted for strategy-wise, and based on what we're seeing, I really don't have an indication of what these guys are going to do yet. I'm just wondering that before we get to this third pit stop cycle, what do you guys think it would be if we go the distance?
Well, we still got about, 4 more stops, Lewis, give or take. I mean, they could spread that strategy out over those last 4 stops and kind of even them out if they want to and make each one of them a little bit shorter, knowing that they would all have to, equal it all up. But we've always seen the strategy. We call it the Nick DeGroot strategy, the famed motorsports journalist that we see that races in the IndyCar community. And, you make it to lap 170, you pit there, and you're good to go pretty much to the end. How many of these drivers are going to be able to see that are going to be able to get to that 170?
Yeah, it's really difficult to predict all this, and especially in the first stint. After maybe 100 laps, you can predict what's going to happen, but it's really tough. I think it's always one stop, a short stop on the end, and some people take it that short stop in between. But thinking about it, maybe what if we have a yellow flag in between? We have a different race, like it's happened in the ERL when we have a yellow flag with 50 to go, and we have a different race in all this in this contender for the race. So I think it is. You mentioned about the strategy different. For example, the strategy A, B, and C. So we have the strategy A with Robert and Jay. The strategy B with Russell and Clendy, and even Blocker is over there, and Taquila. And then we have the other one with Brando Trost with 14. So who's gonna be the guy penalized with on the end of the scene to have a? That's why I don't like to have it like 10 laps to go with pitted in, or have a splash to go like it's happened with Robbie Gordon in one of the Indy 500.
99,
yeah, and have a splash and race over, or like it happened to me in the one of the Indy 500. I just out of the fuel with 2 corners to go. So that's what you don't want it, and I think we're gonna figure it out maybe in the I'm gonna say maybe in 50 more laps, 40 more laps, when we're gonna have some clear who's gonna be on the top, or who knows.
Well, I'm riding with, we're all riding on the Robbie Gordon cam of Robert Malechka right now. And the one thing that I'm noticing about Robert is he is no longer racing Munoz. He's allowing Munoz to do the work for him. We've seen Robert play the long game before. I mean, he's, first he started off as Robert Malechka, then he became RM3, and now he's King Robert. Next time the guy wins here, he's Lord of Indy. There's unquestioned. I mean, he's won in everything. He swept when we returned in 2024. He swept both races, the fixed and open. He won the PRI Hoosier 500 in December. He's won the Elite Racing League Indy 500 3 times in a row. There's no questioning this guy's bona fides, and we know he likes to play the long game. And right now, the fact that he's not racing Munoz and just staying in the draft about a second behind tells me that Robert is now thinking long game. I don't think Robert, I'm just guessing that Robert might be thinking that this race, we're in for a long, extraordinarily long green flag run, if not the remainder of this race under green flag conditions.
I think it's a good thing what you said. So I really agree with you. He mentioned on Tuesday night, I think it's just about the time, and it's not worth it to still fighting with somebody on the front to try to win the race. And I think that the race is winning.
A big loose by Robert Malechka. What happened there? Let's go back and check that out and see what happened. We try to get the driver inputs off here. Did he just get loose? And he caught it? Again, is he in the wall? He got caught he got magnetized to the wall.
Remember, when you're coming when you approach to the corner, you always thinking about you going to the right and just take the corner to the left. So, or maybe something on the real life, something happened and he's around him and got distracted. So yeah, I think it's maybe that one. It never happened with Robert, these kind of issues.
Well, and that Jade Munoz comes to pit road anyways. Wow. You don't see that very often with Robert making a mistake. And I don't even know if he made a mistake. It could have been a desync. It could have been a net code for all we know. He got, drivers get really close to that wall to make the arc into the corner as big as they can. And he's going to come to pit road this time. This is a scheduled stop. He's going to come to pit road with his teammate, Jason Brophy. These two have been working together. Also coming to pit road is Daniel Foggingham in the background there. Van Nessa picks up the lead as we now are looking at our third round of green flag pit stops. If you're just joining us, this is P1's coverage of the official iRacing Fixed Indy 500 coming to you from Indianapolis. We've now completed 92, just shy of the halfway point of 200 scheduled laps. You're enjoying P1's coverage of tonight's race and would like to monetarily support us. You can find a link to our GoFundMe campaign in the stream description. And we realize times are tough. Believe me, I saw the price of gas. So no matter the amount is greatly appreciated. And make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Chris Van Nessa is coming to pit road. While we come to pit road, now is a good time to announce that P1 is excited to announce the second running of the P1 600, a crown jewel level event exclusively for the iRacing INDYCAR community. It is a 600 kilometer, maybe some point a 600 mile race, but a 600 kilometer, 186 lap battle at Michigan International Speedway on June 13th, 2026. An all-star driver roster of the iRacing INDYCAR community. Many of the same drivers you see here tonight will take the grid, competing for over $300 in prizes. Stay tuned to the P1 channel, P1 Discord, and the iRacing INDYCAR community Discord servers for more details and entry applications. June 13th at Michigan will once again be a race to remember. Jacob Oster won that.
Black flag. It's Chris Van Ness.
Oh, Van Nessa on black flag on pit road. And we will go back and see where he got that on pit road as I rewind a little bit. And he just came in too hot. And Lewis, you're going to have to tell me how fast he was as he crossed the line. He had to be just a tick over. It doesn't look like he's even speeded at all.
Weird. He was in 60, 61, 61, 60. You know what? 61 so for long. So it's very sensitive when you come into the pit. iRacing very sensitive. They give you sun allow, but I think it's really too much of on Chris with the 61 in a lot of meters over there.
So one of our challengers is going to be held on pit road with a 40-second hold speeding, and I believe Van Nessa is down and away, but he is now dropped all the way to 32nd. Last car out there running.
Do you know what I think? You don't use the pit.
Do you think he goosed the was changing the gears on pit road on the limiter? And
no, I think he don't press the button for the pit limit road. He just used the pedal because at some point it went to 61 and then we went to 59, and when you have a pit limit, it's just constantly 60. It's not changing. So I assume it's that the error for Chris.
Over in the iRacing chat, sorry, I see go number 15. That is Mason Mitchum. We'll give him on the camera for you, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I said. So I think maybe that's a mistake on Chris, and unfortunately he's have to come into the pit. And actually, he already came. He's one lap down, actually.
And that's one of the things, Dave, that we see a lot with these IndyCar races is you could be in the running for it all day long through the first half of the race, through the second half of the race. Oh, Durazo right up into the turn 4 wall, gives a little bit of a kiss, but he should be okay. But you see, you get a good qualifying run, you get a good start, and it's just one little mistake costs you your shot at getting a win. Van Nessa could just simply held tough and come to pit road and stayed up in the top 5, maybe get a late caution and kind of do a late sprint run and get a win there. And now the win, unless he has the luck of Jacques Villeneuve, the win is out of the question right now for Chris Van Nessa.
I mean, for anyone who's off the lead lap at this point, but I cannot believe. I looked at it from Chris's on-board perspective. I'm going to have to agree with the same prognosis that we've given beforehand. He might have blipped the throttle on the way down. I don't think he was speeding at the cone. On my side, I saw 60 miles an hour, but he was flickering just a bit on the throttle, which is such a small lapse in judgment when you think about hitting these corners and keeping yourself competitive and trying to keep up with the leaders. That is such a tiny lapse in judgment. It's just the type of thing that in the long race you might not end up thinking about. And that's going to cost
car on the wall on pit road. That is Christopher.
Oh no.
Oh, he is banged up big.
And he's lost his front wing. And that's gonna be at least an additional 5-second hold to replace that. But let's go back and watch this as he gets up to Taylor, and those wheels grab. He didn't adjust. He's forgiven on the suspension. He might be still out of whack there, but he must not have changed his brake bias coming to pit road, and the back end just locks up before the front end, and he goes right onto the inside wall. We kind of seen like Stephen Wilson do that before on pit road in recent Indy 500s, and that's Christopher. That is a very experienced driver making a very rare mistake, and he's out.
It's out. They have a middle flag for sure. It's damage on the suspension, all the stuff. When you break in hard and release it too fast, that's happened with the car. You losing the car. I think it's better to go progressing on the braking and coming into the pit and not braking that hard over there. That's why we always talking about practice pit stop in the condition race. Like just put your tires in the worst condition to come into the pit and make the pit stop in the green flag stop. It's a good thing to make you do this mistake. And really, Christopher is not really the guy to make that mistake.
No, he does not make mistakes very often. So Christopher, his race is over for him in 4D racewear. Watching Caleb Binsey get around Andrew Marquez, move up 8 spots. Caleb Binsey now to 18th position. Dan Durazo, Mason Mitchum on pit road. John Silva now has worked his way up into P5. He is on a slightly different schedule. He'll be coming to pit road about the same time Brandon Trost does. Remember, Trost was part of that group. Trost racing Akabaweezy. Hamilton on the outside. Brandon's not going to allow. No. Wow, they were racing rather hard for just track position there. Brandon is not known for allowing many people to pass, but he's coming to pit road right now for a scheduled stop, and that will turn the lead over to Jaden Munoz, who has himself a pretty sizable lead over Robert Malechka. About a second.
They have it between Jose Fusaro, so it can be helped Robert Malechka, but you said that. I think Robert is in the mentality to save it fuel, save it, to why not make it one stop less than the other ones? You remember with Alexis Newson and the Lionheart INDYCAR Series, he did one stop less than the other
Everyone
one.
else,
At the end, she won the race.
Yeah.
So what
you can manage to shave off one stop. That would be huge. And just pick up that track position and bring it home. If you're just joining us and we're at lap 104, we're just past the halfway point. Your leader is Jaden Munoz, who's been swapping it much of the day with Robert Malechka. Here is Jaden right here. He has led 26 laps today, but he's pretty much led much of the last part of the last stint and into the early portions of this stint. And we are just past the halfway point at 104 laps complete, coming to 105. And only one caution very early on, an incident in turn 4 involving Alan Morera and Jake McCloskey. But both drivers were able to drive out of it. We've had a couple of incidents on pit road, specifically just saw with Chris Stouffer as he nosed into the inside retaining wall on pit road, and that ended his day. But right now, we started with 33 cars, of course, and we are down to 31. Not a lot of attrition so far. And frankly, they haven't really got close enough to be a lot of attrition. The racing has been very distant, and attacks have been very fleeting. Cars will get a chance, they'll pass, and then they'll move on, and then they'll wait for a mistake in front of them, and then they'll pass and move on. But not a lot of big movers. Your big mover of the race right now, Triple Crown champion Liam O'Sullivan in 11th spot as he's dogging Clindy right now to work his way up into the top 10. Liam O'Sullivan up 10 spots, and Caleb Benzie. This should be a surprise to nobody if we've seen Caleb drive before. He's just willing this car right now. He started 26th. He's up 14 spots to 12th. He won the Elite Racing League Indy 500 starting back in the 20s, as he's going to get passed here by Andrew Marquez. Marquez will get the position for Team I5G. But Caleb Benzie has a way of willing these cars up into the order. And I just noticed that he's the 33rd ranked I-rated driver in this lineup, and that is highly deceiving that I know Caleb. He is a two-time Formula Indy Series champion, a winner in the old TI INDYCAR Series. This guy really knows how to wheel these Indy cars. He's won at the Elite Racing League level. He's done well and performed well at the Lionheart level. The fact that he's the 33rd ranked high-rating driver just says that he doesn't participate a lot in official races, but he is a big-time competitor in league races, and to see him up 14 spots, up in the 12th, is no surprise to me. But we'll be continuing to watch Caleb as we get deeper into the second half of this race. I want to thank everybody who's joining us over on the iRacing channel. Thank you. Hello. Say hi in chat. Shout us out. Everybody else on the P1 channel that's watching, thank you for joining us this Friday night here for Fast Fixed Friday. Lindy still battling with Liam O'Sullivan, and they might now be working together. These two are drivers that are young enough and smart enough to know that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and they really need to start working together to reel in Blocker in front of them.
Yeah, Blocker is, they have a 3.1 seconds difference between Blocker and O'Sullivan now. And then after Blocker is Aman Lal with 2.2. So it's really sprayed a lot. Yeah, it's a really sprayed around everything, and it's not big fight. I think it's just Clendy and like you said, it's just working together to try to catch a Blocker. But one of them is gonna get hook the tires on the end of the stint, and that's what you don't want to.
Let's go through the field while we have a shot here at the 110 lap mark. Jade Munoz, your leader, by 1.3 seconds over King Roberts, who is in second, who started from the pole. Jason Brophy. I don't think Jason has left third or fourth spot this entire race. He's been there in the picture, which, you know, that's the kind of driver you want to watch as we get to the end of this race if there's a late caution. All you need to do is you don't have to lead every single lap. Just ask Dan Weldon. You just need to lead the last one. Jason Brophy is in third. The hyperstar, Brendan Lichtenberg. And again, want to say, even though I don't know if they're watching or not, hi to all the people watching his stream right now. He is in fourth position. He is a lead Team I5G car. Get Alexander Russell back here in fifth. And then following a little bit farther behind here is Daniel Falkingham, the former Coca-Cola Series driver, the eNASCAR driver, and Rookie of the Year in the Elite Racing League and their P1 INDYCAR Championship. Finished second in their Indy 500. had a bit of a rough race. He started outside of the fast 12, fell back to about 17th, 18th, 19th, and recovered late in that race to finish second. Jose Soria very quietly. This is a Jose-style race. And if you go back and look at the history of the Indy 500s, Jose, now iRacing, if you go on their UI, it covers it back to 2020. And the fact the very first winner of this race in this car, and I think it's because of 2020, it's the IR18. Sage Karam won the top qualifier, top split race broadcast that season. Of course, he's a former INDYCAR driver. But I'm looking here, and I know I've seen it before, but Jose has had some good races here in the past. I'm trying, yeah, here we are. The top qualifier, 2024 top qualifier split that I did over on our old channel. Jose Soria finished third there in that race to Casey Kerwin, who won that particular race. So Soria has a knack of bringing a car up through the field, and maybe if history repeats itself, he'll stick it back on the podium. He's in 7th spot now. Amon Law, many of you might not know this guy. He is mainly a European road racer. He's learning his craft on ovals. Is mainly a participant in the GIC, which is the Global IndyCar Challenge, and the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. Clindy almost got into the wall. Might even kiss the wall coming off of 4. But Ahmad Lal has won both on road courses and ovals in those series, and he's doing a good job today, right, driving for Altina Autosports, being the lead entry right now of that team. His teammate is Liam O'Sullivan in 10th. We'll get back to Liam here in a second, but Amon Law currently in 8th spot, having himself a good race. He is up 8 spots. He is your biggest gainer inside the top 10. Let's go back to Adam Blocker. No surprise to be seeing him up here among the leaders, but normally we're used to seeing him a little bit higher. He had himself a great PRI Hoosier 500 race where he finished in the top 5. Today he's in 9th. Would like to see a late caution here to possibly get a shot to win this, but this guy has won in everything here in IndyCar on iRacing. Open, fixed, you name it. So Adam Blocker, even at the Lionheart level, expect him to be a player. If we get a late caution, do not look away from Adam Blocker at all. And of course, here's Liam O'Sullivan. We have been talking about him. He is a Triple Crown winner in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. I've called many of their races over the last 15 seasons or so. Either I've been a participant or I've actually been calling broadcasts. And he's the only driver that I've ever seen win the Triple Crown. I've seen a lot of drivers. So this guy knows how to win, and he has won the Velocity Online Racing Indy 500 here at this racetrack. So he does have a pedigree here at this track. So if he gets up inside the top 5 and has a shot to win, do not count him out. So that is your top 10 right now as we continue to go through the field. Clindy in Pink Panther here in 11th. Last May, participated in all 4 of the top splits of the fixed Indy 500. Completed all 800 laps and won 2 of them and finished on the podiums in the rest of them. Right now, he currently is at 11th. Then we got Caleb Benson. We've been talking about Caleb. He's in 12th. Andrew Marquez. We've seen him get a win in the Votive Indy Oval Series. He's been in the community for a very long time. He's a new driver on Team I5G this season. He is currently 13th. Do not count this guy out. Brandon Trost. The infamous Brandon Trost for a lot of you out there. Currently 14th. 1,300 iRacing wins to his credit, going back to 2013 when he started and broke into iRacing. Started from the pole in the Elite Racing League Indy 500. He currently is 14th. Brandon Clough. I can't say I know much about Brandon. I think he's been in a couple of our top split races before, but he's just currently pedaling along in 15th as we see Road Neftink coming to pit road along with Alan Morera in the background there. But Brandon Clough is up 1 spot now because of those guys that came to pit road. Just hanging out in the mid-pack right now, biding his time. Matt Taylor, he is the whisperer of Richmond in these cars. He loves short tracks. He is also a new Team I5G driver. and he currently is sitting in 15th spot. Then we got Ty Quilla, who is the Rookie of the Year at the PRI Hoosier 500 in December. And that's a real good segue to talk about the PRI Hoosier 500. The PRI Hoosier 500 will be in December. And while May is home to the Indy 500, the Speedway will come alive once again this December with the PRI Hoosier 500, featuring the best sim racers on Earth, unmatched broadcast coverage via PRI, and the most challenging 500 format on all of iRacing. Tune in this fall, or actually maybe this winter, to learn more about why this is the world's greatest sim race. To learn more today, visit the website thehoosier500.com. to learn to be a part of it. You can enter if you like. We had over 130 drivers, Lewis, attempt to qualify. Well, it was more than that. I think it was like 160 drivers, actually, was it not? To qualify for the PRI Hoosier 500 in December. Truly one of the tightest fields, one of the hardest fields I have ever seen to anyone try to get into. If you qualified for the Hoosier 500, you are doing something remarkably special.
Actually, it's a lot of study and time with all of these big drivers, because it's an open setup. So they work in winter time for the Indy 500, the last Indy 500 of the year in December. So it's really remarkable. You are in the 33 over the 150 or 60 people try to qualify. It's like a really impressive.
Hamilton Akabowiezi in 14th. He's working his way up. He's up 9 spots. Jason Brophy has made his pit stop. He is back in 15th. Reading someone's comments over on the iRacing channel. Did he really ask Dan Wilden? Yes, because Dan Wilden actually said after he won his Indy 500 that the only lap he cared about winning and leading was that last lap. He did say that. He is on the record for that. So I'm not quoting ill of anybody. But then again, if I can't quote Dan Weldon, apparently I can't quote Scott Brayton, or I can't quote Greg Moore. So, whatever, you know. Holdana, yeah.
Gordon Smile.
Gordon Smiley, yeah.
Yeah, Gordon Smiley, yeah.
Gonzalo Rodriguez.
Oh.
Joby Marcellus. And I mean, racing's not, I mean, this is sim racing. Racing is not for the faint of heart. And it's great to see Dan's kids doing so well in racing.
Yeah, in Formula 4 in Europe. Yeah,
they were teammates. Weren't they teammates with Montoya's kid? Weren't they with Prema?
Yeah, Sebastian Montoya, actually. Yes.
And of course, the Lionheart INDYCAR Series. After raced in honor of Dan Weldon. That's why they call it the Lionheart INDYCAR Series. But yeah, we could talk about Dan. But anyways, Alexander Russell is your leader, as we just had pit stops occur once again. So we will go back down through those that just stopped. Robert Malechka.
Yeah, Robert just went in that time.
Yeah,
by.
Go ahead. Call it out, Robert. He just stopped. He's back on the racetrack.
Yeah, Robert's back on the circuit. He looks to be one of the most recent guys to go in. Brendan Lichtenberg now on the circuit on a 2-lap run. And 124 laps in, I want to bring up another thing I've noticed. We are starting to see a big spread across strategies. Alexander Russell, lap 28 on his run. But if you look down, and probably the one driver that's caught my attention, besides the top 2 that have dominated this race, Brendan Trost. Trost is on a 22-lap run now. Robert just going into pit road. Yeah, it's a separation of those 2 guys on strategy by about 10 laps. And I'm wondering if it's in the favor of Brendan here. He's been able to go longer on his runs basically each and every time than everyone else on the circuit. And slowly but surely, when everyone goes down to pit road, he's able to knock those spots one at a time. Clendy heading in this time by. He'll make his dive down after 29 laps on his stint. But again, Trost looks to be the only driver in the top 10 right now. He's going for a sub-25 lap run.
Yeah, Trost was one of those drivers that stopped early on that early caution that we had, and since then we've been green flag all the way since then. That we are now on a 120-lap run, so we've gone 300 miles since our last caution. So Clindy down and away. There is Alexander Russell. We'll put up the name graphic here so you can catch some of these names. Russell out long. This is his 30th lap. He went 31 last time, so we expect to see him make the turn down pit road for his next scheduled stop next time. He goes through the north end of the racetrack to turn 3. Whoa, big exit, high exit there. Probably catching some dirty air. It's probably got really worn tires. He's going to stay out. No, he does a late turn in there. He goes all the way out to the wall. He's going to hold a lot of that speed down the pit road. That's going to be a great in-lap for him. Daniel Hesche, I believe, in the background coming to pit road. And that will turn the lead over to Brandon Trost, as you were just talking about. Jaden Munoz is the next car. He will pick back up the lead once Trost comes to pit road.
Interesting.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so Brandon Trost needs to come in the next 5 laps to go. So means, or maybe in the next 7 to go. 7 laps, sorry. So it's gonna be 66 to go. I counted for 2 go, so I don't count it for next laps or whatever. So if we divided that too, we need to make it 33. So maybe we need to 2 more stop Brandon Trost.
Oh, coming to lap.
When the next one is coming
to lap 130 now, and right now he's weaving down the straightaway. Brandon Close following him. He's trying to get the draft. So does Brandon come to pit road? No.
Not yet. Oh.
But he's coming to 130, so he is. I don't want to say blocking. It's not my role to say blocking. I will call it the old Pruitt fade at the very least, and let you in chat determine if that was a block or not. But Trost was fading down the straightaway there, and let's see where he makes his position. He goes all the way to the white line down the backstretch. Normally that's the international "I'm coming to pit road" sign. He's 27 now, coming to 28, so he went 32 is last stint, so maybe he's not. No.
I can tell you. He's coming, so it's going to come in a lap 133 or 134. So the next time by for him is going to be 166.
Ooh, that's really close. If he can get the 170, right, that's his final stop. Yeah.
That could be. It can be a good number for him if he can make it 33 laps in one stint. But it's going to be saving fuel for poof. It's like you don't want to race in saving fuel, and then on the end it's like, oops, I don't have nothing to show or maybe to fight because I still need to save fuel. So let's see. I think it's a good job just because saving fuel. He need to maybe make it 31 laps on this thing. Now it's 29, but I think
this race, this is just for track position, folks. And we told you earlier that Brandon does not give up track position easy, and he tucks it. Now this might be what Brandon wants. I don't know. He could save fuel behind Brandon. This is Brandon and Brandon. Brandon and Brandon and Brandan.
But also maybe he don't want him on front. He's coming to the pits. Oh.
No, he's coming in, coming to 29, coming to 30 for his scheduled stop, and that turns the lead back over to Jaden Munoz, who again is out by more than a second over Robert Malechka. And in the draft, of Hamilton Akabawizi, who is the last car. I would never thought I would have said this ever. Hamilton Akabawizi is the last car on the lead lap.
Wow.
Someone's asking in chat, are all time slots streamed? No. This one today, and then the top splits will be an iRacing broadcast tomorrow. And then for Open weekend, we will do the same time slot for Open. And also iRacing will do the 1 p.m. Saturday for Open. So only 2 of the 4 top splits are streamed. I do more.
Yes.
I do more if I had more time. This one took a lot to get ready for. I hate doing. I love doing the Indy 500s, but there's one part of me that hates them because I just get. I'm with these drivers. I get so nervous. I don't know about you, Dave. You just walked into this thing. You're like, hey, I'm just going to call the action like as I see it. I don't. Lewis, did you walk into this nervous at all? Because I was extremely nervous all day.
Well, you're the guy producer all the stuff, for sure you are more nervous.
I have a lot more responsibilities,
We are here, just quiet and waiting for the spot to say something. And but no, I don't know you, David, but I'm okay. It's like even for you when the ERN, when we have to do all this stuff from.
Back home again in Indiana, the flyover.
Exactly, and all this stuff. That is tough. But here we have a P1 broadcasting channel and also iRacing channel. So it's really, I can tell you, I can feel you nervous. You already told me early in the morning.
Alexander Russell got around Brendan Lichtenberg, moved him back up 4th as they've encountered now Ty Quilla, who is, and this is another driver that I never thought I would say he was 1 lap down in 21st position. This is what a lot of green flag running does to you. We see Indy Kirkenbauer, and I never thought I'd see the Prodigy being 1 lap down here at the Brickyard, and we're not even, to the 400-mile mark.
About the schedule on the iRacing channel, it's going to be tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be the Indy Fixed 500. Timeslot 3. So I assuming that one's going to be for tomorrow.
Yeah, that is the 3rd time slot because there's a Saturday morning race, then there's a Saturday afternoon race, then there's a Sunday race, and those are the 4 time slots that you have for the fixed Indy 500. Thanks for joining us, everybody, this Friday night. We appreciate it. This is Fast Fixed Friday. You are watching us on P1. You're also watching us on the iRacing channel. Currently, Jaden Munoz leads a very, I'm going to say, pedestrianly boring race. And Robert called it Tuesday night. He said it himself. This is not going to be a fun 500. And he said maybe if the track temp comes down. The track temp is at 102. It's been down under 100 today. And the racing has been meh. And I'm seeing the comments in chat. People are like, this is not fun. And that is, the racing has been very meh. The setup's not been great. The tire model on this current car has not been great. Maybe we see a late restart and a late caution. But this is very much resembling, without all the attrition, very much resembling an 80s, a mid-80s, 90s style before the IRL INDYCAR race or Indy 500 race. If you watch those races in the past, they're not a lot of close racing. They're not, they're not how it was in the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s with the close finishes. It's very far apart. A lot of aero wash. But some of those races featured a lot of attrition, and we only have 2 cars have retired this entire race. We've only had 1 caution. We're already looking at would be a real world Indy 500 race record for pace if this was the real Indy 500. That's 190 miles per hour. I'm not even tracking that right now, but we got to be well into the 200s.
All right, making calculation of Robert Maleska.
We're watching Robert now.
Robert is gonna come in the next 14 laps. or 13 laps, sorry. It's going to come in 153. And then it's going to be short for 47 laps.
Yeah, that's over 100 miles. 40 laps is 100 miles here. So he's going to have to make a dash towards the end.
Oof. Or cut the stint in two.
Oh, there you go. Cut the stint in two. You've talked about that an awful lot. Maybe strategize. But it makes both stops long versus a short final stop. Again, I think it's better to do I think your strategy is the best call.
You know, that's the tough thing. You don't want to, you want to be now Brandon Trust strategy. That is almost exactly you want to, but it's still in the danger zone, in the danger zone, on the out of fuel or finish the race by saving fuel on the end. So it is tough, but about the Ruffin, Robert, and Jaden Munoz is it's that way. It's I think they're gonna be short for 47 laps. It's gonna be it's gonna be maybe about 14 laps short. So that's gonna be hard. Maybe Alexander Russell is the guy to finish good on the end, but like you said, a caution in between, it could be reset everything and make more exciting the race.
Robert with a big lift going into turn one. We ride with them just through turn two at the Riley Children Hospital Suites as they race down the backstretch, separating two portions of the Brickyard Crossing golf course. The Brickyard Crossing Golf Course is actually a public course you can go golf on yourself when you come to Indianapolis. Just pay the green fees, and you too can golf there. I don't know if you want to golf there while the cars are on the track, though. Actually, I think they'd use it for parking, too, so it might not be a good place to golf. But that is the home course, if you can believe it, of the Speedway High School golf team. The Speedway Spark Plugs. That is their golf home course there that they play at the Brickyard for Indiana High School golf. We see down the backstretch, also sitting off in the inside of turn three is a dirt track. And also want to point out that in these trees right here, right just on the other side of these grandstands in turn three, that's a residential area. And back in that residential area is it's literally a neighborhood that backs up to the track. In one of those houses, the property owners there have built a tree house up in the tree, and that's where they can climb and view their own personal Indy 500. Here we cross over the tunnel, the main entrance off of 16th Street, just opposite the Hall of Fame Museum. And if you have a chance, and if you've not done so already, the Hall of Fame Museum has been newly renovated for about a year now. And if you've been there before, it reeked of the 1960s and 70s when you walked in that place. So it needed a facelift badly. And boy, did they do a great interactive exhibit job there. And you should go check that out next time you go to the Speedway, whether there's cars on the track or not. Check out the Speedway Hall of Fame Museum. Open almost year-round, with the exception, I think, of Christmas Day. I think it's about the only day it's not open. You can also take a bus tour of the track. Ride with Robert Mulech again, 220, 223, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, cracking 30 into the trap going into turn three, north end of the racetrack. Indianapolis Motor Speedway sits perfectly north, south, east, west. Now we're heading south along Georgetown Road, heading into turn one. On the left side, there's Pit Road, Gasoline Alley. There's the pylon, of course, and the pagoda. Now we're turn one opposite the main entrance and the ticket office. Now 16th Street, now turn two. You can fit Churchill Downs, the Vatican, the Big House from Michigan, Yankee Stadium, Churchill Downs, let's see, the Vatican, the Coliseum. You can fit all of those inside the infield of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And this place, the speed of these cars, as someone that's been there many times, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Dave, because you've been there. You've had your rookie stripes ripped off here. You're now a veteran of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Watching these cars on TV does not do the size of this place justice, does it?
Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started on that conversation. Coming here was unbelievable. I mean, in my experience, I spent a lot of the time, because I was there for a few race days, I spent a lot of the time in the infield. I believe I watched from one of the hills on turn 2, heading in one of the mounds, turn 2, heading into the back straightaway, which had a great view of drivers coming overhead and the grandstands being packed. I mean, this track is... I'm taking a look on the iRacing blimp right now just to refamiliarize myself with it, but it really is huge. I mean, I recall that, of course, you couldn't use everything. The golf wasn't necessary. The golf course wasn't open, but having to walk through the area where the infield road course was, I mean, it's a long walk from every end of the circuit. Yeah. Unfortunately, when I went, what's up?
No, keep going. We were seeing that.
All right, just making sure we don't have any incidents on the circuit.
Fazaro and Liam O'Sullivan got really tight there going through the north end, the south end of the racetrack. We're in the north end of the racetrack right now.
I still follow O'Sullivan.
Looks like everyone's gotten away from it, though. Unfortunately, when I went to Indianapolis, it was one of the years they were renovating the museum, so I still haven't seen that, which really sucks. But otherwise, I mean, it was a journey from one end of the track to the other, and I think in my experience anyway, being closer on the infield was a lot more enjoyable, which I feel like that's the good thing about Indy. It's not one of those, it's a big event. It's a huge event. I mean, you have more than 300,000 people coming in. It's the largest single-day gathering, as you hammered in at the very start of the broadcast, but it's not like there's a problem in terms of finding a great place to watch. It's funny, you talk about the treehouse, and that reminded me of the Formula One situation where people were getting on escalators back and forth to watch the Las Vegas race. They're not really stingy like that in Indianapolis, at least for the fans anyway.
Yes, it is the world's largest single-day sporting event. There is no other sporting event anywhere larger than the Indianapolis 500. Not the Daytona 500, not anything else. It's the Indianapolis 500. At its peak, when they would fit everybody in here, when they had the infield open, the snake pits were there and everything, we're talking about 500,000 people. Now, right now, with the seats and everything and taking out of the infield, there's only so many places you can sit now in the infield. It's down to about 350,000 for sure, 400,000. That literally makes the racetrack the third, maybe definitely the third or second largest city in the state of Indiana, outside of Indianapolis. Indianapolis is about 1 million people. I think Fort Wayne.
Kyle Clenford slides into pit road,
and he has a black flag, and that is going to be day done, or at least a chance for a win for Glendy. And we're going to check this out again as he's coming down off the racetrack. And this is again one of those things that it's unfortunate you only see with green flag pit stops, and he locks up the tires. And you watch the brakes bite, and then the car lurches, and then it goes to the inside wall. Now he keeps it off the wall, but it's going to cost him a ton of time. He has to back it up and then get it in the right direction. That's going to cost him a ton of time. That might actually cost him a top 10 finish, as he's done and away now as we watch him come off pit road, as Daniel Falkingham getting a shout out in chat.
He crossed the line in 22 miles per hour over.
So he came to pit road speeding. So that will end his day. Horrible camera work. Doing the best I can there, buddy. You get out here and do better. I love that. I love chat comments. I don't care if they're good or bad. That's engagement. That only helps the channel. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Alexander Russell now your leader, as Soria is going to get back by and go to the lead lap. So he is the last car to lead lap at 11th. Here's Andrew Marquez in second. I-5G entry. Brendan Trost there. He's going to pick up that lead. You're talking about it, Dave. He's going to pick up that lead here momentarily. He's 22 laps into his stint. He went 30 last time, so he's about another 8 laps before he makes the peak down pit road. In front of him is Russell. Russell went 31 last time. He's at 27 now. Marquez went 30 last time. He's at 28 now. Did we get a split count of how many different splits there were? There were, what, 70 in this first opening time slot? Is that what it was?
No, 47.
47, so right around 50, okay.
47, around 1,500 people sign up. And
in case you're wondering, the strength of field, even though it doesn't really matter because this is all the top qualifiers, it was a 46.93 for the strength of field, a 46.93. Alexander Russell, pit road, next to last stop. So this is going to get him into the 180s. Very short, very close to the 190, about 10 to go for his final stop. So we'll see what type of strategy he is going to execute here. Maybe split it in half. But it picks up the lead for Brandon Trost. Someone's asking, what are your end-of-race predictions now at this point? Well, Lewis, I think we're in that window. Remember, in the Elite Racing League, we called the winner about 100 and lap 120. A different style of race and everything as we see Milecka getting around Trost, getting around Jaden Munoz. So that's very key. This last stop by Robert was very quick and rapid. He was actually in the box 2/10 quicker. 2/10 less in the box, and that has really allowed him to get a lot closer. And now I think I called it right with Robert. He was just playing rope-a-dope earlier and biding his time, and now it's like Rick Mears of this guy. It's almost go time. When you get to about lap 170 here, it is 100% go time. Rick Mears always said it's the last 50 laps, the last 25 laps, something like that. I've heard people here in sim racing always say it's after the last stop it's go time. Well, it is go time for Milecka because he's on a haul right now.
I think I'm gonna return my prediction of Brandon Trost because it's gonna be short for 2 or 3 laps. So I think he cannot save a field for 35 laps, maybe 36. But it's gonna be really short. He needs to at least make 34 laps.
Wow! Jaden Munoz got really up close and personal with the turn 1 exit wall and the short chute there. He had to lift a little bit, and it's going to cost him some distance and track position to Milecka. And I'm not going to go. It's like when someone asks me who's going to win the Indy 500, and I say, oh, Alex Palou. Like, way to go out on a limb, Gary. Way to go out on a limb. Robert, I mean, until someone knocks the king off the top of the castle, I don't know who else to pick at this point. So Robert is still, I mean, way to go out on a limb. Robert's my pick. We shouldn't rule out Trost if he could somehow make some mileage. And Munoz is there, but it's almost like Robert just flicked another gear and is now really taking this last 50 laps seriously.
Yeah, I on the Elite Racing Indy 500, I thought it's going to be Brandon Trost winning the race, but I think Tyler 40 on the end, he won the race. But it's really difficult to predict it, even accepting the race of the caution free we have in the Indy and the Elite Racing. When you mentioned that, and 100 to go, we already knew Hamilton Aquavis is going to be the race. On the end, he won the race. It was like, but I think it's really difficult to predict it, even with 40 to go. For now, I think it's Robert Milecka is going to win the race for now. But if the caution coming out soon, or coming in 20 to go, it's going to be a new race with Jaden Munoz, even Jason Brofin, going for everything, and I think he makes no money over here, because you want to win the race, and if you have my teammate, I want to win the race. I want to win the Indy 500.
Hey, Dave, Trost on pit road, coming to lap 28-29, so didn't do 30 this time, so he's going to end up falling up a little short, I think, and is going to have to do a splash and dash inside of 10 laps to go.
Well, that's the biggest shame, I think, of the entire race. He was the only one who seemed to be throwing a bit of a curveball when it came to the strategy. So I wonder now what's going to happen here. I mean, I don't want to say the race is done and done. I don't think that's fair to say. We've got a lot of time still left. We still have the better half of 40 laps remaining. But it's very challenging to think that there's going to be someone who comes out of nowhere and does something different here. Brandon is back on the way, but Robert is far out and ahead with Jaden Munoz, the only driver within a second here. The conversation really becomes them and only them with that news. One more pit stop for them. If it goes well, it really is just going to be a two-horse race for that victory.
And once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's coverage of the official iRacing Fixed Indy 500 coming to you from Indianapolis. Well, currently, Robert Malechka, King Robert, leads. We're at the 400-mile mark, 100 miles to go. We're in the go time window for a lot of these drivers. It's time to execute, time to make these moves now. You're running out of laps to do it. If you're enjoying P1's coverage of tonight's race and would like to monetarily support us, please find a link to our GoFundMe campaign in the stream description. We realize times are tough, so any donation, no matter the amount, is greatly appreciated. Make sure to smash that like button also as well, and subscribe to the channel so don't miss out on the next race. And, of course, don't forget, next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be right back here for the time slot number 1 of the Open Indy 500, where maybe the open setups will make them a little bit racier. We'll see. But 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on P1. That's what the thumbnail will look like. And if you would like to subscribe to our channel, just click that QR code and you subscribe to our channel right now. And you'll know when we'll go live next Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the Open Indy 500 opening time slot top split. Do they change tires on every stop? Someone's asking in an iRacing chat. Well, in most cases, yes. And it's just because of how these cars are engineered. It's a single impact lug wheel, meaning that you don't have 5 lug nuts like they do in NASCAR. You just, and they also don't have a jackman. They have someone that sticks a hose in the back of the car. There's pneumatic jacks that stick out from the bottom of the car on compressed air that will lift the car off the ground. Then the wheelman, one of which we've seen a number of times in our Tuesday night race, Ryan Campbell. He is a wheelman for Dale Coyne Racing. Just takes the wheel gun, reverses it, brings the nut off, puts the new tire on, reverses the gun again, applies the wheel nut, and done and away. And most of the time, a competent crew can change tires in about 5 seconds. So if you're going to come in for a splash of gas and it's less than 5 seconds, don't change tires. But if you're going to go in for gas that's like 6 seconds or more, you might as well throw on new tires. Besides, there's no tire limits. Like I said, smoke them if you got them. Watching Jose Soria in 7th spot. Not a lot of close battles right now on the racetrack as John Silva on pit road. Mason Mitchum on pit road. Dan Durazo on pit road. Next to last stop. These could be last stops for some of these guys. They could be last stops. They're in that kind of window if they go 30 laps from now. We're still awaiting final stops for all of our leaders. Robert Malechka, 14 laps into his stint. Jaden Munoz, 18 laps. Brophy, 18 laps. I can give you those numbers on the tree right now. There you go. Stint length. The magic number is closer to 30. In fact, really the magic number, Lewis, is right now. It's this number right here. I'm circling it. 170. It's going to be 170. You get the 170, you pit there, you're pretty much good to go to the end. Pretty much.
For example, Indy Kulkenbauer is in pit road now. He's really good to go. He did 9.9 in the books, so he's really good to go to the end.
Yeah, he's also one lap down, so that's going to make things a little difficult. Even Jacques Villeneuve at this point in the race was back on the lead lap. When he went 2 laps down, if you're not familiar with that story, Jacques Villeneuve won the 1995 Indy 500, was penalized 2 laps for passing the pace car accidentally. USAC takes no prisoners with their penalties, and he got them back in the race and won that race, of course, with a little help from Scott Goodyear passing the pace car, but he got the win nevertheless. I do feel bad for Scott Goodyear.
Oh, sure. The only thing need to catch in his career, he didn't.
He won at Michigan twice. He won the Michigan 500 twice. Won a couple times at Texas. Came close in the INDYCAR Championship back when it was the Indy Racing League. Finished second to his teammate here, Arie Luyendyk, in 97. Of course, had that closest finish ever to Al Unser Jr. in 92. Brutally cold day. Brutally cold day. I remember that day. I wasn't at the race. I remember listening to it on the radio when we had a race party, and everyone was in hoodies and jeans. It was like a fall day in terms of weather. And, of course, since that race, that was one of the reasons why they reconfigured the Speedway. We see Clindy in the Pink Panther coming to pit road for his last stop. Clindy, unfortunately, is well down on the order because of that penalty. Clindy, former fixed oval series champion. Just not his day today. Also a former Horizon Series IndyCar champion, ISRA IndyCar Series champion, votive IndyCar Series champion. Still looking for that big fixed broadcasted 500-mile race win at the Brickyard. All right, so we are in the Nick DeGroot window. What is your guys' favorite IRL Indy 500? IRL Indy 500. So not in real life, but in the Indy Racing League. Oh, Lewis, you know which ones is not my favorite one.
Oh, the 2000.
Oh my God.
When Montoya won the race.
He kicked everybody's butt that race. He did.
I know. He was the first car to come to the IRL and win the race. And then IRL people figured out, it's like, oh my God, he came this outside to win the race as a rookie in Indianapolis.
Well, rookie, you could hang quotes on that. He was defending series. He was a defending kart champion.
But he was a rookie in the IRL.
Right. But rookie in the IRL is like saying that, you know, when Alonso was here, he was really a rookie. I mean, he never raced an Indy 500, but same thing with Emerson Fittipaldi, I guess. 2-time world champion. Call him a rookie. But, yeah, that was the worst 500. He dominated that day. I think Murphy, is that his last name? Murphy? I could be wrong. The record for leading the most laps is like 198. Set back in the 30s. We'll probably never see that again. But Montoya did something like 160 laps. Like, you will probably never see that again, to be honest. Favorite race? I want to say 2006. That was a good one. For a while there, we all thought that Michael Andretti had a shot to win, which would have been great, you know, to see him get the monkey off his back. And then Brophy coming to pit road for his final stop. Then we saw Marco pass Michael, and we're like, whoa, Marco, you know, this could be a thing. And then out of nowhere, Hornish just runs them all down, and he ends up winning that race. I know a lot of people don't like her, but Danica, I will say the crowd was on fire in the 2004 race when she was leading there toward the end. When she was leading there, or 2005 race, when she was leading there towards the end, the crowd was on fire. That was a palpable buzz that you could really, really feel, and that was pretty exciting to be in. I was there for all 4 of Helio's wins, and being there for a 4th win for any driver was pretty exciting. I will say that as well. The 100th with the uncertainty of Rossi, if whether or not he was going to be able to finish with enough fuel. I mean, we heard him drive by at times, and we're like, is he out of gas? In those last couple of laps. Yeah, those were some pretty exciting races there, too. And I was sitting, and going back to, we'll talk about Dan Weldon again. I was sitting there in turn 4, watching J.R. Hildebrandt smack the wall. He did not need the pass. Kimball. He just needed to let off the throttle a little bit. And he ended up passing. That's I guess what being a rookie is. And to see Weldon win that one, that was pretty exciting as well. So I have a lot of memories. USAC has some scoring problems too. The 97 true value to 500. Well, yeah, but I mean, if they didn't have any problems there, you would have never saw AJ Foyt knock out Ari Leyendijk in victory lane. That was hilarious. By the way, AJ Foyt has never given up that trophy for that race. Has not given it back to Ari. Ari has never gotten that trophy.
Good.
Robert Malechka, coming to 20 to go, is your leader, and already he's staying out there long, and we got some strategy off the books. Munoz has stopped. He is 3 laps now, actually just came to pit road. He is fresh off pit road. He is 1 lap on his new stint, and so he's trying to attempt a bit of an undercut here. But he needs to put some big laps down now. He needs to put some big laps down.
Yeah, actually it's very interesting because Brofin is really close on the now trendy pool, leaving past.
There it is. Munoz, purple lap, 2:25.6. That's what he needs. But
Brofin is close and maybe can make it more difficult the victory on Munoz. Because it's probably getting close. I know it's kind of far for 5/10, but it's close because now have a Andy Gassi on the lap down front. It could be make a struggle for Javen Munoz.
And anybody in chat, whether in the P1 chat or iRacing chat, if you participated in one of the earlier splits and your race is done, feel free to check in and tell us how you finished. We see someone said they wrecked. There's always 3 more chances to do it, to do your another shot. As we watch Jaden Munoz on the high side here of Indy Casey. Casey just ducks down to the inside, gets out of the way, but right behind him is Jason Brophy. That is a battle for position.
Yeah, actually, I saw Brandon Trost hit the wall, not the keys. It was already hard in turn 2. So once again, Brandon Trost getting a struggle on the end of the stint, on the end of the race actually.
Yeah, he smacked the wall at the end of the Elite Racing League's Indy 500, and that maybe ended his chances. I don't know if he was actually damaged or all. Robert Malechka, final stop done. He is now off of pit road. So he is done for this race, and he pops out in front of Jaden Munoz. Here comes Jaden Munoz to the inside. He wants that position back. This is a dogfight for the eventual lead of this race. Here comes Robert Malechka on the outside, but notice where Brendan Trost is. Brendan Trost stays high, gives a dirty air to Malechka. No love lost between those two, and it forces Jaden to go high and lift a little bit through the corner, and he loses a little bit of distance down the straight. Here comes Malechka to the inside of Trost. Trost lets him on by.
It was close. Robert Malechka in turn 4 hit the wall, but a lot of fade over there and put back Javen Munoz on the. He's now 1 second behind on Robert Malechka, so getting far for that. So I think Robert is going for one more victory.
Someone said if you wrecked after the green, you still made it further than Scotty Mack. Poor Scotty Mack. He's never going to live that one down. But, I mean, he's not the first driver that's ever, I mean, it's happened to Tom Sneva. Robert Mileska, 226 flat, purple lap. Tom Sneva, in fact, if you watch that documentary, I think on Ray Hall coming up here, I think it's played already tonight on FS1. That race he won, Tom Sneva, an Indy 500 winner, did the same thing on the backstretch in 86. That was my very first Indy 500. And then, of course, Guerrero. Here comes Trost to pit road for his final stop. Guerrero famously did it in that 92 race we were talking about. He was the pole sitter. Man, but poor Scotty Mack. He'll never get a chance to live that down. And I hope he gets a win or something in his Indy 500 career just to get that taste out of his mouth.
Hamilton, can we see black flag for the speed of the people?
Final stop and a black flag. Remember that happened to Scott Dixon. He was in line for an Indy 500 win, his second one, and he came speeding to pit road. But Alexander Russell for his final stop. He's been up in the top 5 all day today. He's going to stop at 15 to go.
Thing like a Glendy, 22 over.
But unless there's a late caution or something slows down Roberts, Robert has now broken the draft envelope to Jaden Munoz. And the duo we've seen all race long, things really changed about 50 laps ago for Robert Mileska. The switch went on. He passed Jaden and hasn't looked behind since. But he has a lot of lap traffic in front of him. A lot of lap traffic. And still 16 to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy pass in front of him, actually.
You see that in front of it, there's Trost. That's Tyquilla. Rode an F-Tink, Indy Kirkenbauer, Indy Casey. He gets around Indy Casey in that white, black, and purple car. Last thing Robert needs is one of these cars in front of him to do a little bit of a twitch and smack the wall late in the run. Or light tanks and warm tires. Now they're doing a bit of a weave down the front stretch. Robert to the inside of Indy Kirkenbauer, the prodigy. He stays high. Ooh, runs out of room awfully quick there off the exit of 1 in the short chute. Down the backstretch into 3. 14 laps to go. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not done so already. Thanks for joining us. You've been a huge part of tonight's race. Glad to have you here. This is the opening time slot. Top qualifier split. This is your fastest 33 tonight. And you'll see a lot of these same racers at the 1 p.m. iRacing split. Oh, right there. Just what I was talking about.
Oh, you want to be leader. You don't want to see that. In the radio, Robert Mileska said, I am here, Trost. So, Brandon Trost is there to lose a lap in 15th position.
Coming to 13 to go, 12 to go here. Very shortly, we'll start talking about that line that Paul Page always talks about when he broadcasted his Indy 500s, about the number of drivers that have not won the Indy 500 but led at 10 to go. It's been a current trend that's not necessarily been that way, but through the 80s and 90s, that was a very active trend that if you led at 10 to go, didn't always guarantee you getting the win. But today, knocking on wood, and not to jinx it at all, I'm knocking on some wood here. Roberts is going to sail on and a very comfortable as he continues to grow the lead now. 2.3 seconds over Jaden Munoz, who is now falling behind. And actually, Jason Brophy can now turn into rear gunner a little bit and give a little support to his teammate if he can get to Munoz and start challenging him and pretty much lock this thing down with 10 laps to go. So I have a spreadsheet that actually talks about this. Leaders at 10 to go. So the last two races, leaders at 10 to go, won. Newgarden and Palou, each one, they led at 10 to go. Award led in 2023 with 10 to go. Newgarden, of course, won that. Ericsson won in 2022 with 10 to go. 2021, Rosenquist led with 10 to go. Castro Neves, of course, won that one. Sato led with 10 to go in 2020. Pagano led with 10 to go in 2019. But then before then, there was a whole host of not leading at winning after leading at 10. Servia in 2018, Power won in that year. Chilton in 2017, that was Sato. Newgarden in 2016, that was Rossi. Power in 2015, that was Montoya. So the latest trend is if you're leading with 10 to go, you're going to win this race. But into the 2010s, the late 2010s, mid-2010s, Matthew Mitchum, purple lap, 2:26.1 late in this race. But the mid-2010s, the trend was if you were leading with 10 to go, chances are you weren't going to win. 9 to go now as we are in that window. Robert Malechka, your leader. Munoz second. Brophy third. Russell fourth. The Great Wall of Power Slide is in first, third, and fourth. Lichtenberg and I-5G is in fifth. Falkingham very quietly been in the top 10 all day today, Dave. He's in sixth. Soria seventh. I told you Soria has a knack of bringing the cars up into the top 10. He's there. Lal in eighth. Liam O'Sullivan, our Triple Crown winner in the Velocity Online Racing League, in ninth. And Adam Blocker in 10th. While we're in the late stages, Dave, any other drivers that you've been spotting, want to talk about, anything you wanted to shout out before we get into the late stages here, especially your channel, FTN?
Well, first off, let's talk about the last moments of this race. Up 15, Caleb Bensi, 26th up to 11th. Well, that's about the biggest move that we've seen of anyone in this race. Caleb was as low as 32nd, as high as 5th early in the going with some cycles, and has settled down firmly in 11th. I don't think there's going to be much a chance to get up to Adam Blocker in 10th. But Caleb is the biggest mover by a long shot, and the only driver in the top 15 who started outside the top 20 and the top 25. So even though we haven't had a lot of big surprises in terms of moving up and down the ladder position-wise, Caleb has been that one driver who's proven it's possible. Liam O'Sullivan has done that to a similar extent. Started 21st and is now up to 9th. Not a surprise for the Triple Crown winner in Vor, but it has really been Caleb Bensi, the star of that moving up show. 29 drivers are waiting on a caution. We got 30 on the racetrack. We got Robert, and we have the rest of the 29 who are hoping for a last-ditch shot to get a yellow flag and get a restart. And I'm sure that number one of those guys is Jaden Munoz. He's 5 seconds back now. The gap is as big as it's been all race long. And while he held a candle to Robert for more than 450 miles, I think now you're starting to see that ultimate separation, which really divides those guys. 13 on the lead lap. And Brendan Trost is probably going to be the last of them. Again,
Trost is going to fight for this one for all it's worth. He's not making it easy at all for Malechka on the outside in the one, like mirrors on Andretti in 91. He clears him, but he's not quite clear. This is not even for position. This is to put a driver a lap down for a driver that does not want to go a lap down. Lewis, I know you've been watching this.
I know. It's like that's what Malechka said. I am here. And I assume he want to make the pass, but you know what? 5 to go. I don't want to risk my moment to win the race because I want to pass one lap down. But I think Robert wants to pass Brandon Trost for sure. He's going to make the pass now.
He does make the pass. He can't quite clear. He has cleared, and he's now put Brandon Trost a lap down. So our leader has now lapped up to 12th position. But maybe Trost will try to get that lap back. Here he comes. He's like, not so fast, my friend. 4 laps ago, 10 miles, now less than 10 miles. A qualification run for Robert Malechka to get another top split win, another top split broadcasting win to his resume, and to back up that PRI Hoosier 500 win he had in December. Down the main straightaway. Here, well, we got that is Jake McCloskey, who had that first caution. He's racing to get a lap back. He does that. Now, Robert, at this point, it's just like, okay, guys, just go. And I think he might have just backed off and is just deciding to let these guys go. They were racing really hard here in the late stages, just for track position, I guess.
I think Robert, I don't want to say Robert show everyone, or maybe show to Brandon, I can put your lap down, but he did, and he decided to pull it back because we are 2 to go now.
2 to go. Our split that we did last year. See a Cabo-Easy over Ferguson by 51 thousandths of a second. The one we did the year before that, Casey Kerwin by Steven Wilson over 6 seconds. So Kerwin did a little bit more of a beating on people in the late stages to win by 6 seconds. So we're looking at another big win. A white flag out. Robert Malechka, King Robert. Well, let's roll out the red carpet and bring out the scepters and all of the Knights men, because King Robert is going to be Lord Robert. I don't know, someone for the UK is probably going to say Lord's lower than a king. I don't know what's higher than the king right now, but that is going to be Lord Robert Malechka III right now, as he is half a lap away from wrapping up another top split win. And again, to back up that PRI Hoosier 500 victory from December off of corner number 4, clean and clear down the little white line. The only thing that separates him now from victory lane is a yard of bricks and a white line and a flag. Checkered flag out for Robert Malechka, winner of the 9 p.m. top splits on fixed Indy 500 weekend.
It was a really, really good race. Where I didn't expect to. Robert winning this race. He did 19 laps in the stint. The race over in 2 hours and 22 minutes. Basically, almost a green flag race. We only have a green flag you mentioned in the lap 5 with the Adam Moreira incident.
And there you see Robert Malechka with the win. Jay Munoz is second. Jason Brophy third. Russell Lichtenberg, Falkingham, Sora, Lals, O'Sullivan, and Bincy. Bincy did get into the top 10. We don't know what happened to Adam Blocker there at the end, but Bincy somehow made it into the top 10, Dave. So too bad we don't have a chance to interview him, but I'd love to find out what happened. So Lewis, we'll let you make up your mind on who you want to be your driver of the race here. Normally that's an award we give to the driver that finishes outside of the podium, who makes up the most positions. But Liam O'Sullivan, Caleb Bincy, that's a really tough call. So you have a tough one on your hands, my friend. Let's get to the next page here. Adam Blocker in 11th, Andrew Marquez in 12th, Trost, F. Tink, Kirchenbauer, Silva, Quilla, Taylor, Durazo, and Chloe. That's your top 20. You see everybody from F. Tink on down is 1 lap off the lead lap. Everybody ahead of them on the lead lap. Mitchum, Van Den Essa, speeding on pit road, could never recover. Ricky Paz, McCloskey, brought out that first caution. That was it at lap 5. We never slowed down since. I never thought I'd see Hamilton Akabueasy be 2 laps down in 25th spot, but there he is. Hot Fuzz in 26th, Mason Mitchum. Actually, Matthew Mitchum. Remember, we have Mitchums here. Mitch M and a Mitch Mitch M, Matthew Mitchum, not related obviously, in 27th. Indy Casey. So we had 2 drivers named Indy in this race, and 28th. Clindy, not the finish he was looking for. Finished on the podium in this race a year ago. 29th this year. Daniel Hesche in 30th. Alan Marrera, Chris Stouffer, Chris Albrecht. Your only 3 retirements. 30 cars finished this race running. It's almost like the current modern day Indy 500 with reliability. Okay, I gotta queue up some replays here, and we'll maybe talk with the Brophy, Munoz, and Robert. And I gotta ask, I mean, it couldn't have been a very exciting race for some of these guys. It seemed like it was a bit of a slog out there. Well, we'll see what they say. Just trying to get these replays queued up. Hey, Dave, you want to ask any questions? Give me a chance to talk some more.
I wouldn't. Mics aren't hot, right?
No, we're hot. No, we're hot. Go ahead.
My goodness. Well, yeah, why not? I was wondering what we were queuing up. Yeah, why not? I mean, we can go driver by driver here, but I figure, Gary, why not kick it off with the leader and you could take the call for there?
Well, let's go to the interview room.
We got 2 guys waiting.
Jason Brophy is here, so let's bring in Jason Brophy, our third place finisher here today. Defending the lowest step on the podium for the wall of power slide, and another big day for the wall, finishing third today, Jason Brophy. But let's talk about the race. We kind of saw a preview of what this race was going to be like on Tuesday night, and that 50-lap preview was pretty darn accurate. Talk about your race out there. There were a couple of tight moments there early on, but once this field got strung out and we got past that first and only caution, almost a snoozer out there. What'd you do to stay awake?
Trust me when I say not a snoozer in the car. So, you can sit a little, but maybe we could ride a little, but when people are pushing like that and you got Rob knifing through traffic, you are having to push every bit you got to try and hang on. And I did that for 100 and some odd laps trying to get back to them. Finally was able to latch on their second to last run, try to undercut Strat, didn't quite clear Jaden, and with the heavy fuel, tires cooked a little bit, and then I really struggled at the end. But yeah, you are on edge if you're trying to keep up, especially when you have Rob and Jaden out front. It is a fight. So worn out. My shoulders hurt, my wrists hurt, but we'll be ready.
Representing the old man crew, you make me proud. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead and ask our third place finisher any questions you want.
Well, I'll tell you what, the story of this race, it was the long green flag run. One interruption at the start. The rest of the way was managing strategy. And you were able to reel in the gap with Jaden Munoz real well, especially over those final 50 laps. How did you dial yourself in for the last portion to make it more competitive?
I think really what got me, kind of saved me was when Jaden pit that first time, and I think it might have been Jaden and Rob, but when they pit that first time, I said, I'm not latched on, and Adam came over and gave me the best advice of the race, which is your underfill. because I didn't need near as much fuel as them having run long. And so I was able to latch on there, get around Van Den Ness, and kind of stay with them early, and that's when the break happened. And that kind of isolated us down. I think Van Den Ness sped later, so that isolated us down. I lost eventually, but as you get those cycles of traffic, the early pits to get tires, I finally got latched back on there when they got hung up a bit. Was able to kind of get to Kyle Clenworth's draft, and then he was kind enough to get out of my way and get back up there. For the most part, it was just manage a gap, took a gamble at the end, kind of thinking about it. Look, the worst I'm probably going to finish is third. It's a big gap behind. So if I do the undercut, try and get the position, I think that forced Jaden's hand. Rob was able to still run long, and then just with the brand new tires versus us struggling against pretty even, he was gone. Like nothing we could do. We'd already burned our stuff up by the time he came out, and he was able to pass all those people holding us up. So it's the way it goes. I'm not, trying to beat Rob there. I didn't see much opportunity outside what I did. So, but you're just trying to find ways to get clean air. The undercut's powerful. If you pit into traffic, the tire delta matters a lot now. That's a big deal. And interesting to see. I will say that. Very interesting to see. It also matters though when people come out behind you and then can pass you.
Well, shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, and then we'll let you go for a cold soak after this so you can rest up for tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to thank Rob, Adam, everybody at Power Slide. We put in a good effort. Obviously, Rob did a lot of work to figure out Q, and myself too, but mostly Rob figuring out what's good in Q. Ty and Tommy for giving me a chance to run for Team Hype here. I really appreciate that. As I said, the guys at Power Slide, you guys for broadcasting this. I think we're on the iRacing channel, so that's a lot of fun. There's more, I'm sure. Friends, my friends and family, my family especially, letting me race this because they tried to get me to go out to dinner tonight. And I said, sorry, something I'm doing. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I had the rush dinner tonight too, so I understand what that's like. Well, Jason, congratulations. I know we'll see more of you on the Tuesday night broadcast. Best of luck for the remainder of your fixed weekend here, and best of luck. We'll probably see you again and back when we do open. But congrats on the night, and way to hold the flag for us old guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Jason Brophy finishing third here tonight. Let's bring in Jaden Munoz. And here is Jaden. Jaden, up front all day today. Exactly what you needed to do. Track position meant everything. But just there at the end, it seemed like with 50 to go, something clicked on Robert, and he said bye-bye and left you. And you were never able to quite run him down. Now, granted, there was some traffic involved at times, but we can't always blame the traffic. Talk about your race out there today. You came home second. Might not have been the finish you were looking for.
Yeah, there's definitely some things I could have done better. Yeah, the first half of the race was pretty good. I don't think I have anything wrong or too bad what I did, but I think more so in the middle of the race. I think that before that, or after my second last pit stop, I was still fuel saving, thinking like, I don't know, I wouldn't have a chance, but really I should have just kept pushing and used the power of the undercut on Rob and hopefully stretch a gap to him and make use of that. And obviously I would be at a disadvantage on the pit stop, but if I could have a gap at least, I could maybe have some room to play with, and I would give myself a chance to fight at the end. But yeah, just a little bit too much fuel saving there. And yeah, the traffic there at the end, yeah, I was just having a hard time following the cars. They were covering all the lanes pretty well. And yeah, Rob did a great job the entire race. So, I mean, I'm happy to even be near him near the end of a one caution race. So, yeah, I'll take this result.
Hey, go ahead, Dave.
Now, of course, you and Robert pulled away from the rest of the field, and the talk of this race when it came to how the car handled was a different package compared to the last few times iRacing's hosted this Indy 500. So it looked like it was a lot easier for you guys to separate yourselves. What's it like dealing with the hybrid system and trying to fight to the front and keep yourself there?
It's a lot to think about, and yeah, it's very tough. The conditions, even if it was a little bit cold today, it was still very difficult to drive. Like, especially into turn one, it just felt like it plowed a lot, especially when me and Rob were trying to swap draft. And yeah, it was tough to get by turn one, and then in traffic, it was obviously even worse. So yeah, it's a lot to think about with the hybrid as well, and strategy is even more important now. And yeah, I mean, in a way, I think it's kind of cool that the gaps can stretch out a bit like this. It kind of almost reminds me of an endurance race.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not so much a pack race. It's, just strategy and, a lot of stuff involved. So yeah, it's just running your pace basically and not just falling in line really.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to on this for this podium on the opening time slot.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting the race, and I think I have a couple people watching, and thank you to them for watching, and thank you to my team, BS Competition.
Congratulations on the P2. Best of luck for the remainder of your weekend. Possibly see you during open weekend as well, and maybe more appearances on the Top Split broadcast for the oval side of things. But congratulations, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yep, for sure. See you guys.
Jaden Munoz finishing second. Let's bring in... We can't decide what rank is higher than King Robert, so I went with Lord Robert, but I think someone from the UK is going to tell me Lord is probably lower than King, but I don't know what higher rank we can give you. You dominated this place yet again. You backed up your PRI Hoosier 500 win, won with a pretty comfortable margin today, but it really seemed like, Robert, that the last 50 laps you kind of followed a lot of Jaden in leading up into the last 50 laps, and then finally something just kind of flipped in your mind, and maybe I don't know, and you just, okay, I'm going to pass you, and now I'm gone. And it was never really... Maybe during that last pit stop, it got a little tight when you passed for position. But after that, again, you left them, and there really didn't seem to be much competition there. It almost seemed like an easy win, but this is, again, backing up kind of what we saw again on Tuesday night. Well, we talked about it on Tuesday night on the Oval Series broadcast. Again, what we saw in the Elite Racing League, which I know you peeked in on that one too. Different type of racing out there. You had a good day, you dominated, but it's definitely a different style of racing out there. But talk about, did the last 50 laps, did you finally just the switch go off and you're like, okay, it's time to pass them and leave them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal for probably all of us here is just to get warmed up for tomorrow, right? And
yeah,
I really wanted to put myself in some different situations. Whether it's, in the lead, going through traffic, P2 in traffic, or, swapping with Jaden, which he did a phenomenal job with that. But yeah, I was just kind of right in there. I was kind of figuring some stuff out with fuel maps, and I guess I just drove myself in a wall and lost a ton of time. So once that happened, I kind of knew it was go time, and decided to, not fully risk everything, but see what the car was really capable of in traffic. So, got into a really good rhythm there. Those last really 2 stints, knew I was a decent chunk better than Jaden at traffic, in the traffic. And, I was able to, I think, pass them, extended that second to last stint to have the tire advantage. And, it was really close off the pit road there. I was not really expecting that, but, Jaden probably had a amazing in-lap and out-lap as always. So, had to send it on the outside of him there, but thankfully, he raced me really clean, and we worked great all day. So yeah, happy to get the win, but all in all, this is just really a warm-up for tomorrow.
Before I pass it over to Dave for his follow-up question, you picked the number 91 a lot, right? For your car number?
It's a funny story about that. Yeah, I'm not really a superstitious guy at all, so I just, when I got in iRacing and was getting in leagues, I just did a random number generator 1 through 100 and landed on 91. So that's why I'm 91.
You led 91 laps today.
Oh, really? That works well.
Dave, go ahead.
Not exactly halfway.
Well, not only do you lead 91 laps, when you look at that qualifying pylon, you set it off in first on the pole position. But of anyone who had to deal with dirty air throughout this race from lappers, you definitely had your fair share. Of course, starting up front, a big deal with this new package. What exactly do you think it meant to have that front row and, moreover, that pole position compared to being anywhere else to start the field?
Yeah, I mean, obviously clean air is king now, right? And I guess it was like that before, but now it's like it seems like you have a massive tire advantage if you're in that P1 or P2 spot. So, to get the pole, not only for today but tomorrow, hopefully I can stay in the top 2 at the beginning of the race and just kind of control it, right? That's really all you can hope for. Obviously, this was an extremely clean race with a ton of regulars, so I think a lot of us had their faith in them to keep it clean and green to the end. So tomorrow it might not be different. A lot of new guys that don't race this car often, let alone in traffic with how it is now. So we're kind of all predicting, at least on Power Slide, that there's going to be a few more yellows. So we're going to have to stay on top of the strategy. And yeah, I mean, we might honestly have to split strategy, but we'll do what we have to do to at least give ourselves a good shot at the win tomorrow.
We'll let you get an early start on that. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone I want to say hi to before we let you go. And of course, we know that you got a lot to start prepping for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you to the Team Hype and Hardslide guys. We've worked really well and hard on the not only in our fixed tools and things like that to have a great qualifying for us, but the big one for the team obviously is open in a week. So hopefully as a team we can win tomorrow, or at least get some good quality finishes, and then that's full focus on the Open 500.
Congratulations, best of luck for the rest of the weekend, and we'll definitely see you at the next one.
Yeah, thanks, great. Take care.
That is Robert Malechka. Lewis, your driver of the race. Unmute.
My God. Driver of the day. It is Benzi with 16th spot. 2 laps. He did 2 laps fighting wheel to wheel with Adam Blocker, and he got the 10th position over there.
Yeah, Caleb Benzi, former winner of the Elite Racing League's Indy 500, which is one of the harder to win and even to make League 500s in the community. So no surprise there. Sub 16 spots to come home in 10th. And we don't know how he passed Adam Blocker there at the end, but he caught him and passed him. So good on Caleb and that Team Stowe Motorsports squad. Getting a top 10 here for one of the guys that does very, very well here on the oval. Final thoughts from everybody before we let everyone go and get back. We are now midnight Eastern time, so happy Saturday to everybody now. So get off, get some rest here. But final thoughts, Dave, again, pleasure to have you here. Always bring a definite different perspective to how these races look to you, and definitely kept us looking in those directions. So we certainly appreciate that. But another fixed Indy 500 broadcast in the books for you. Thanks for being here. Any of your final thoughts before we let you go?
It's pretty exciting to see things done differently. And with the hybrid format coming in this year, I mean, I know a lot of this was single file racing, but it was a change of pace from what we've seen on iRacing for the past few seasons. I think it sets up even better what we're expecting to see the Open setup next week. Another Friday night, hopefully with P1 broadcasting. Fixed setup. Everyone's driving exactly the same way, or more or less, because they're dealing with the exact same equipment. But I'm starting to wonder that if this is what we saw tonight, how much are teams willing to push the envelope and do something different in the oval race? I think tonight and the next few days of additional fixed and open practice for drivers is going to set the tone for a much more exciting second week. Maybe for the fans, it was difficult to watch along and find it thrilling the whole way through, but the drivers told us a completely different story, and they made it clear they were working the car from beginning to end. Maybe it didn't show that way what we saw the whole way through, but it's pretty clear every one of these guys, the veterans, the rookies, the guys with open wheel background, the drivers with stock car backgrounds, endurance backgrounds, they all had a challenge worked up for them. And while it looked easy, and maybe it was played out to look that way, it's not. And I think the open race is going to show a little bit more of that. This race might not have, but still a great drive from our winner. Robert putting on a fantastic show. Munoz, Brophy, not too far behind, a great podium. I think it sets us up well for an exciting set of virtual speed weeks. Of course, the month of May is far from over. I think it's only going to get better and better.
Lewis, final thoughts. Power slide, P1, P3, P4, I5G, P5. A lot of independents, 2 Altena Autosports cars at 8th and 9th. Different teams that we normally are not used to seeing up, or different drivers and teams that we're not used to seeing up in the top 10 or up in there. A bit of a different race that we saw today, but it kind of falls in line to what we saw back in April in the Elite Racing League, and kind of falls in line what we saw on Tuesday night here in Indianapolis in the Indy Oval Series. We're dealing with a different style of racing for the time being, and it's just everyone else is in the same boat, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah, actually, Dave said the correctly stuff about what has happened today, and I think he said, David said everything what I think about the race of today, and also something we saw on Tuesday night, and I don't think Robert is really happy about the race today. Maybe it's not happy about the performance of the race today, but win is a win, and it's a good approach for tomorrow at 1 p.m. on iRacing channel. So it's going to be the race broadcasting over there. So I think it's going to be really a little more hard what is happening today. Maybe the condition on the track is going to be different. Who knows? They're going to figure it out tomorrow, but we mentioned about the Open Series next week, and I think that's going to be a different, like a day and night. So the day today was everything on the equal stuff, equal everything, and try to management the track position over here, especially with Robert, and between Robert and Jaden Munoz. But next week with the Open Series is mystery about what are you going to do on the pit road, because in the pit road you can adjustment your wing, back wing, front wing, and all the stuff, put something else, put something less, and that's going to be really, really interesting. We're going to see next week. But today was a really seen on the fixed series, seen in the ERL, and well, win is a win, and Robert Raleska won today, and really, I hope for tomorrow for all these people have a good luck on this race. So nothing more to me. Good luck for everyone tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on iRacing channel, and see you on next Tuesday, the 8:15 p.m. for one more fixed series, INDYCAR fixed series on P1 Broadcasting from Nashville Super Speedway.
And the next time you see us here on the iRacing channel will be next week. I'll bring that thumbnail back up again for the Open Indy 500. There's our thumbnail for it, and you can find that on our channel, and set a reminder, and just shoot this QR code right here, and that will take you right to our page, and subscribe, and then you can set a reminder. And we certainly would appreciate it. We thank everybody for watching. We appreciate all the comments, even the pithy ones. I really enjoyed those. But let's get on out of here and give everyone back. Well, they're Saturday mornings now because it's now, like I said, past midnight on the East Coast. I got to tell Robert he needs to take a picture of himself drinking milk. He's probably drank milk so many times now, he might not want to. He's won more oval races now at the Brickyard, I think, than, this is his 6th or 7th. So, yeah. He's got AJ, Al Sr., Rick Mears, and Elio Castroneves beat. So Robert Malechka. That's it for tonight. Once again, your podium for tonight's official fixed Indy 500. Robert Malechka with another win. Jaden Munoz comes on second. Jason Brophy locking up the wall of power slide on the first and third steps. Almost locked out the top two, but not quite. First and third. Jason Brophy comes home in third there. Join P1 again next week for the Open Indy 500 Friday night top split. Coverage begins around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Again, that's 9:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, for the correct time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one. So please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of tonight's race and you enjoyed tonight's coverage. Support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more P1's other iRacing programming, including this Sunday. It's Championship Sunday of Season 12 of the Sim Gaming Expo's Classic INDYCAR Series. It's a series of crown its new champion in Mexico City. It's the longest-running Dallara IRO5 league on all of iRacing, so don't miss it as they crown another champion this Sunday. Start times 1 p.m. right here on P1. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook. You can follow them on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description. For business inquiries, to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can follow all of our social links on Linktree. You can check those out in the description. So, for David Kreutz, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, everyone here at P1, I'm Gary Gatto saying all good night, and thanks for watching. And all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week for the Open 500 and the next race of the INDYCAR official 500s here on iRacing. Good night, everybody.